And yes, DJ Wilbert's got us dancing in the studios. Ishmael Ba. DJ Wilbert. Special shouts going out to Miss Laura at Japan Motors Nissan. It's your birthday today. Wishing you long life and prosperity from Gloria Kote, especially going out to you. A very special good day also going out to Samuel Nate. This is from Nana Sewa. She says, now please play Adines Makuma for him. He loves it. Alright, we'll do so.
But the enemy won't worry me. I go show all of them tragedy. No be today, we start to. So if I sing my song, if I keep up for long, because you don't know that day, Jesus Christ, he go come. So if you see me today, I know my level. Oh my level. Anybody permission pain today, I know my level.
I know my level by Shatta Wale, especially going out to you, Nanaba Namwa. I know you love this one. Enjoy. All right, so this week has been very eventful. Lots and lots of things have happened, and we're going to try to touch on all of them. And most importantly, we're going to be talking about taxation today. Our celebrities and the payment of their taxes. In fact, this conversation, we should have had it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But we shall talk about it today because there's new information. Entertainers, people in the entertainment industry, showbiz industry are going to be, they're going to be given some tax exemption, if you like, while some education on why they ought to pay their taxes, etc., will be done by the ministry. So today we're going to be talking about it. And we are pleased to have in the studios a gentleman who is going to tell us everything we need to know about our taxes, entertainers, how we're supposed to pay it, and pretty much everything we need to know. So you stay tuned, and the number to call us on, WhatsApp us on for the meantime. In the meantime, is 0244340437. Later on, I'll let you know how you can call us. But my favorite uncle is here, Uncle Ken. No. Uncle Ken,
yes.
How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. You?
Thank God. Me, I don't know. Today I've been really excited. I've been too excited. In fact, I think I'm tired because I spent...
you didn't say you were tired. You said excited. So don't tell me why.
And I'm drained.
Don't tell me why.
Because I've been overexcited. I've been dancing all morning. So I normally will go jogging in the morning, but today I downloaded a dance aerobics video.
Okay.
And which I used at home. So I danced for about 2 hours.
Oh, that's why you are excited.
Yeah. I'm still pumped.
Now I understand.
How about you? How's your morning been?
That's cool. I had to pass by Pastor Atuakwa's mom's funeral.
Yes,
at
it was today.
Yes, solemn occasion. And yes, I go home, relaxed, watched some football.
Of course.
And I'm here.
You're welcome.
Very upsetting week it's been with all the happenings around us.
Yes, we got news of the passing of Kumawood actor Nuruddin.
Plenty issues,
Yes, That was very heartbreaking.
Too many issues, but sometimes you go through that, and it's a test.
You mean personal or in the industry?
No, Ghanaian issues.
Okay.
I'm talking Ghanaian issues.
I feel you.
Yes, too many issues.
And today you used the Adenta Highway.
Yes, I did.
At the
but it was calm. No, I found it freer than normal. Today. Yes.
I think more people are avoiding that route.
Maybe.
I usually use it, but I don't use it anymore. I haven't used it since the riot. I found an alternative route.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You also like using the word route.
Do I?
And you just said you found a different route.
Yes.
I get amazed when I hear people use that word because I didn't grow up with that word. I grew up with route.
Right. So my husband and I have this argument all the time. He says route and I say route because it's spelled route.
How is it spelled?
Because it's out. So
I get so thrilled when I hear people using route.
Well, I guess one is English and the other American. I don't know.
So they say. I didn't know.
I actually don't know. I should check.
Yeah, I learned the route. So that's what I know.
So we're route route, tomato. Anyway, so it's very scary driving on that road.
I know.
You want to be careful. You need to look out so you don't hit anyone. There have been many times I've driven on that road when people just appear out of nowhere. They jump the barricade, and before you know, they're in front of you, and it's scary.
Absolutely
because
scary.
that it could just change the trajectory of your life if you hit someone just like that on the highway, and then
it's so sad. I mean, I've been thinking the whole week since this thing happened.
So since it happened, I just there's this route behind Kinky House that goes all the way to TF,
to the TF,
University of Ghana. So I just found
you decided to use
better
that
way.
But I just hope that things are done properly in this country.
Yes.
And people, something that has got me thinking deeply is this new one about people refusing to pay the toll on the motorway.
That's just lawlessness.
But now I say to myself, if you're collecting toll on the motorway, what is it for? Shouldn't your primary objective be to keep that road in perfect condition for the users, so they continue to pay the toll? So that one got me thinking, and I said to myself, that one I support.
You support them not paying the toll?
People should use the monies collected there to fix the road.
Shouldn't we be advocating for that instead of, asking people not to pay the toll?
Are you saying you're new in Ghana?
No.
You've never heard anybody advocating for the motorway to be fixed?
Well, yes. So we need to be louder, I
guess. I am not one who would ask people to be lawless, but I'm saying to you, I've been thinking, and I'm saying to myself, if the only way people who should do what they are supposed to do will do that, is for us to tell them that if you don't do it, we won't also pay. It got me thinking. That's exactly what I said. I just said so. I've been thinking, and I said to myself, why should it get to this point?
It shouldn't. I was one of the people who were affected by the University of Ghana. Is it a toll or whatever? It got to a point you had to pay to enter. And if you didn't pay, you weren't allowed to use it.
Yeah.
At that time, I was in law school. So I had to go in and out. And I found it quite annoying. But after some time, I came to appreciate how the good quality roads on campus. So when they started issuing out cards, e-cards, I still pay 150 cedis a month to use the University of Ghana out.
And then you have every right, because
the roads are good,
every right to ask questions when the roads deteriorate.
Yes.
You then have every right, So I'm saying that this motorway, people have been paying.
Yes.
And it is only these past few days that we've heard people, agitating against the payment and stuff. People have been paying for years.
Yeah.
And yet we get
daily.
And we get this on it. And another one, the street lights. If you pay electricity bills, there's a levy that you have to pay for street lights.
I didn't know that.
Yes, on every electricity bill in this country. And that is another one that I want people to advocate for. That fix our street lights. If we pay the levy, the lights should be on. Across too dark.
I agree 2,000%. The street lights, the traffic lights. The roads.
Oh. No,
it's sad.
No. Well, and then another one, get the hooligans who ride motorbikes. I'm not saying the perfect riders, the dispatch riders who do a decent job, wear their helmets and go deliver parcels here and there from companies, reputable companies. I'm not saying those. Those who disobey traffic regulations, get them off the road. Those bikers that disobey traffic regulations should be taken off our roads ASAP.
Last week, Dela Glanu was asking that we should do a show to discuss how celebrities can lead causes for social change.
Thank you.
I think perhaps we should discuss it on the show.
We should do this
and see how we can use our influence.
Because these are the low-hanging fruits that if we deal with in this country, we can progress.
We'll be better off.
The indiscipline is too much.
Yes. It's sad. Uncle Ken, drink some pure water. while I speak to Mr. Dominic Dokbila Nab. He is a chief revenue officer.
Oh,
Training and Development Department of the
GRA.
GRA.
Welcome, sir.
He's the man of the moment.
Thank you very much.
It's very good to see a taxman smile and
Smile a lot. We wear good smiles. every time.
I see. I don't often see them. But
I see.
I'm very happy to see you laughing and smiling. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Thank God. Thank
Right.
God. And how is the GRA?
Oh, GRA is fine.
How are things generally in tax collection?
Oh, we are doing well. Yeah, we are
People
doing
are
well.
paying their taxes.
You are not responding as much as we would have wished.
Who is you?
I like that.
You in particular.
Me myself. No, that's not true.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure by the end of this interaction, you would issue a check for me to pay your taxes.
oh, I've paid all of my taxes.
You are sure?
I am so clean. In fact, I should come and present all my withholding tax certificates to you.
Oh, do.
Yeah. Because I don't joke with it.
All right, that's
At all.
Good.
Anyway, so you're welcome to the studios. We'll also be joined by Sadiq and two others. Bulldog will also be here.
I'm
with
waiting
us.
for those two.
Yes, they're on their way. But it's great to have you in the studios.
Yeah.
So Mr. Nab is here because I think a couple of weeks ago we had some celebrities agitating, if you like, about some letters that they had received from the GRA demanding that they pay their taxes, income taxes, or taxes on all their earnings between a certain period. So some of them between 2015 to 2018, some were quoting some very huge amounts. And I said, hey, people in this industry are making money. Because if only your income tax is this much, I can only imagine how much your earnings are. Some of them said that the codes that they had received were just too extreme. Much more than they have actually made, or more than the total cost of productions that they have been on. Others said they hadn't received any letters at all. Others said, if I received a letter and this person hasn't received, it means I'm going to pay and this person is not going to pay, so I'm not going to pay. Other people have actually said that expand in Sawam prison because we will not pay and we are ready to go to jail for it, because they do not see the use of these taxes in the industry. A lot of us have complained about, the National Theatre, for example, and how it's not working, and how it's very painful as a producer, for example, to stage an event or a concert at a theatre and things don't work, and then you have to pay about, now I think it's 17,000. Before it was 14,300 for 4 hours. The air conditions don't work, the bathrooms, there are issues here and there, and that the list is endless, and yet I have to pay all this tax. In fact, GRA will come and sit at the gate and charge you 17.5% on every ticket that enters the theatre, even the free tickets you give out. So for people who give so many, complimentary, people who keep calling their event organizer friends, give me ticket, it's actually not free. They are paying for them. So please buy tickets, okay? If your friends organize events, buy tickets and support the business. So people have complained about these things. But then again, it is important, it's our civic responsibility as citizens of this country to pay our taxes, because that is how the government gets money, basically, to operate, to give you security, to pay the police, to give you good roads, etc. So we must pay our taxes because it's our civic responsibility. It's your responsibility. It's not an option. So basically, we're here today to talk about, the entertainment industry and taxes. We agree that unlike normal 8 to 5 workers, taxes are not deducted, from your paycheck. So, okay, at the end of every month, like someone who works in a bank whose income tax is automatically deducted by the employer and paid. Someone who does a film takes their money home, and then when they get home, they now have to look at the money and say, okay, out of this 100,000 I have made, I'm going to pay, is it 7.5%? How much is income tax?
It depends.
It depends on how much you earn.
Individual, we have what we call the individual tax rates.
Okay.
But if it's a corporate entity, then we have the rates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning. Tell us, first of all, why or where this is coming from so suddenly, because it appears to be sudden that actors and people in the industry have been burdened with this accumulated tax, 3 years accumulated tax suddenly?
Yeah, thank you very much. Ghana Revenue Authority is a organization that is mandated to collect taxes for government. And one U.S. judge once said that taxes are the payments that one makes for living in a civilized society. So if you want to live in a civilized society, there is a cost that you have to actually incur, and that is, tax. Essentially, taxes are compulsory levies for which you pay and you are not required. That is to say, you don't get anything in return, for it. It is your civic responsibility. Let's go to the Constitution. Article 41J of the Constitution says that every person, and here we are talking about citizens, yes, have the right to disclose their income honestly to the appropriate authority.
Honestly?
Yes. And the appropriate authority here is Ghana Revenue Authority.
Okay.
Yeah. I think before you started this program, you mentioned a plethora of problems that confront us as a nation. And I think that the only thing that we can actually, use to fix this is
taxes.
Money. And we need taxes to be able to do that. And it is interesting to note that the entertainment industry is up in arms against Ghana Revenue Authority.
Oh no, I don't think that's the case. We are
partners in development.
That's not the case. We just have questions.
We are partners in development. You see, so but the truth of the matter is that we didn't start only today. We've been talking about taxes not today. We've been urging people, and what we want to actually achieve as an organization is what we call voluntary tax compliance.
Voluntary tax compliance.
Exactly.
Is that what you currently have?
That is what we want to achieve. In fact, we haven't been able to get that, but there are some few people who on their own come to Ghana Revenue Authority to pay their taxes. On their own come to file.
I see.
But let me just say that as a citizen, once you are doing business, you have 4 obligations. Obligation number 1 is to actually register with the Ghana Revenue Authority for us to know that you exist. Okay. Number 2, you are supposed to file your tax returns.
But don't you get that information from the Registrar General's Department?
No. Yeah, when you register with the Registrar General, that is the first step. The second step is to walk to any Ghana Revenue Authority near you or your business and to register. So when you register is when we actually get to educate you and even know the tax handles that are exposed to you, because we have various forms of taxes. We have the VAT, we have pay as you earn, in respect of employees. We have corporate taxes, we have personal income tax and what have you. So it is when you come and then we educate you, we get to know, we interview you and get to know exactly what sort of taxes that you are supposed to. Then you sign. When you do that, then the next step is we expect that you file your tax returns. We don't know the kind of businesses that you do, but you know it better. So you actually file your tax returns with us. The next thing is that you have to pay your taxes. Is that okay? And the last but not the least is to disclose your income honestly. So these are the issues. And all along, we have been educating every citizen about their rights to pay taxes. And I can tell you that we have actually embarked on sustained education. I can't count the number of times we have been to Joy FM and other radio stations and television stations just to create this awareness. And again, this year we rolled out what we call a tax amnesty. And the tax amnesty essentially has to do with the persons who have never registered with Ghana Revenue Authority can register and will forgive you of all your taxes, interest and penalties. But if you have been on our tax radar, then we expect that can't pay your taxes. Then the interest and penalties that you ought to have paid will forgive you.
Waive it.
So we did that, and then it actually ran between January and August.
So it's expired?
Yes, it is expired. So, and Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority indicated that he had given this window, expecting many persons to take advantage of it. If you don't do that, then he's going to come after such persons. He indicated that.
That's true.
So if now you are getting some letters from us, it is just because we thought you were going to take advantage of that kind of system, that dispensation, which never, was, and we think that we need to actually serve you. Again, the entertainment industry is actually an industry we actually owe in high esteem. Is that okay? You help us to relax, create fun here and there. We don't joke with you. And to this end, some persons were actually trained professionally to be able to actually deal with you, to be able to handle you.
Deal with us.
No, I'm talking of to be able to handle you.
I understand. Don't mind me.
To create the smiles that you think that we don't exhibit. Are you getting it? So, you see, the point is this. If you look at the new law that we have, it is actually self-assessment oriented. That is to say, you should be able to tell government ahead of time. Here, I'm talking of Ghana Revenue Authority, about the anticipated income that you are going to make.
Anticipated?
Yes. And then you are free enough to revise it as and when it is possible. So your anticipated income and the consequent tax that would go with the anticipated income, and you keep revising. Is that okay?
So now, if your anticipated income is 10,000 and you make only 2,000, would you give us the difference?
Oh yes, we have. In fact, there's a dedicated account that is established to ensure that persons that actually overpay their taxes, once we confirm that indeed you have overpaid, it is refunded to you. We have that system, and there are a lot of persons who have actually benefited from this. Is that okay? So we actually mean business. And I must also say that we are not after the entertainment industry for anything. We are only just asking that contribute your due to our nation.
But why have you waited this long? You know, that's one of the questions that people ask. That I've been in this industry for 15 years. Me, I pay withholding tax when it's withheld. I pay VAT on everything I buy. So far as I'm concerned, I am paying my taxes. So if you suddenly bring me a letter saying that over this period, this number of years, you owe this much, and as I said, I don't even have that much in my bank account because it's been many years and the money is no longer there, and you want me to be able to pay and you give me a deadline, then it's as if it has come as a punishment.
Yeah, you just indicated that you have been paying by way of withholding taxes. That goes to confirm that this is not the first time GRA is actually engaged in the entertainment industry. And I'm sure you are not the only one. There are many others too who have also paid.
I was making an example.
Oh, so you never paid any withholding?
No, I'm making an example. So I wasn't using myself.
Okay, but let's use yourself as an example.
No, I'm not comfortable.
Be comfortable. Yeah. No, actually, the point is this. If you earn income, you are required to pay taxes. You shouldn't even wait for Ghana Revenue Authority to come to you. You are supposed to come to Ghana Revenue Authority and pay.
But it's so burdensome. I mean, I am making money, and you want me to get up from my house and come to you, and tell you that I'm making this amount, so this is your tax.
No, the point is this: we have offices all over. If you don't come, we'll come. So we have probably waited for long. You are not coming. That is why we are coming.
For so many years.
No. I mean, well, it is always said that better late than never. If we never came, then we have come. Is that okay? So begin to pay all the taxes that you were not paying. And that is what it is.
I see. Uncle Ken, you wanted to say something?
Very interesting. I am following his...
education.
Yes. And I must honestly say, I cannot challenge any of the things he said so far. And the fact of the matter is, the last question you posed was that you expect me to come to you to disclose something that has got to do with myself. Wasn't that your question? Yes. And I'm saying that from the Constitution that he read to you, it is your obligation to the state.
Thank you.
It is every citizen's obligation to the state to pay tax on his income.
Thank you very much.
That is why I'm saying that I cannot dispute or challenge anything that he has said so far.
Uncle Ken, you know what the difficulty is here? I think it's because, say I live at home with my sister who works in a bank or at Joy FM. She's only concerned about her take-home income. In fact,
right, because everything else is being sorted.
It's sorted. I don't want to go to GRA.
I get your point.
I now go and work out percentages. So, some people just, in fact, at job interviews, they ask, what's my take-home? They don't even care about the gross. Or is it a net?
Gross.
They don't even care about the gross.
The net. So, that is important.
Just how much am I taking home?
How much am I taking home?
If I now have to go and calculate how much I'm paying on income tax, VAT, NHIL, and all of that, and now go to GRA to go and pay. It sounds burdensome, perhaps.
Because you are an individual doing business by yourself.
So that brings me to my question, Uncle Ken, to him, that don't you think that perhaps you should treat people in the entertainment industry, for example, actors, as employees of a producer, so that the producer, being the employer, is the one duty bound to come and pay income tax on the actor, who's the employee's fees to you? I mean, isn't it easier? It gives you a smaller number of people to deal with, and these people actually control the purse. So they pay these people and they can declare to you honestly.
Actually, taxation is governed by law.
Yes.
And what we have is that if you are an employee, then your employer is obligated to actually pay taxes on your behalf. Now let's look at it. Who is an employee? An employee is any person who has a position in somebody else's employment. And number two, an employee is any person who has fixed and ascertainable remuneration. And an employee is a manager of an entity, not a partner in a partnership or a public office holder. This is the definition. So if you look at it critically, then you realize that you in the entertainment industry, you don't fit in that category. Is that okay? So that is to say you are actually not employees of the producers. Now, the producers also have their obligation. What the law says is that, let's look at it carefully. What the law says is that a producer, is that okay, of entertainment, that...
Which law are you reading?
I'm looking at the VAT Act,
okay.
Act 870, 2013. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the law here. I'm only just...
Okay.
Yeah.
She.
Yeah, it says a producer...
This man eats and sleeps the law.
Yeah, who intends to promote a public entertainment, he has to register with the Ghana Revenue Authority and ensure that VAT is actually accounted for. Is that okay?
Okay.
That is what the producers can do. But the producer cannot, is that okay, categorize you as an employee, because the law would not actually help.
Allow that.
Yeah, that is what it is.
Okay.
So you have an obligation. And you see, if you have registered with Ghana Revenue Authority to actually pay your taxes, then certainly we expect that you should work to us.
Do you know why it's
But
difficult?
having said that, if the producer is making a payment to you, then we expect that they should withhold.
Yes.
But the withholding is not a final tax. It is actually a tax on account. But at the end of the year, you have to actually file your tax returns.
Yes.
And when you file your tax returns and disclose all the income that you have earned, then the payments that you have made by way of withholding taxes and what have you, we put all of them together and that becomes your tax payment.
And you
when
give
we
us a
now
refund.
try to actually determine your tax liability, it is possible you could have some further payment to make, or if you have overpaid, then you are given a refund.
Yes.
You see, that is how every system works when it comes to taxation.
Do you know there are some other compulsory levies, if you like? You know, you said tax is a compulsory levy.
Exactly.
There are other compulsory levies that even if you are just a service provider, the employer or the promoter or the producer is required to pay on your behalf. For example, SNIT. Am I right?
Oh, SNIT, if you look at the law, it is the employer. Yes, who pays.
Who
SNIT.
pays?
Yes.
Even if you're a service provider to the person.
No, he can't. He can't do that.
He can't.
Well,
He can't do that.
I
He can't do that. But having said that, let me just explain, for you to appreciate. The Pension Act, Act 766 of 2008, which it took effect from 2010, what it says is that self-employed persons can take advantage of the first tier, second tier, and third tier. So in that case, the law says that up to 35% of their declared income is exempt from tax. So in that case, it is a self-employed person, in this case you, who would have to actually take the steps.
So as a musician, if I'm to pay my income tax, I pay my income tax less 35% for SNIT.
No, that is if you take advantage. No, because the thing is that there are a lot of self-employed persons who do not actually register for SNIT. What I'm saying is that if you have registered for SNIT, are you getting it?
Okay.
So up to 35% of your declared income
It's exempt.
is exempt. That is if you take advantage of the first tier, second tier, and third tier. The third tier is voluntary. You may not take advantage of it. So it will be wrong for me to say that 35% of your declared income is exempt.
Okay.
No.
Now, a lot of people also, or some people in the entertainment industry, from my conversations with them, have said that they feel that they are double taxing and triple taxing and quadruple taxing them, because if I make 10,000 Ghana cedis and I'm supposed to pay 7.5% as an individual, right, on that as income tax, and that same 1,000 Ghana cedis, I use some of it to go and rent the Fantasy Dome to organize 3 music awards. I'm supposed to pay tax on that, the awards I'm organizing. And I'm supposed to pay people their salaries, people who come and work for me and all of that. I'm supposed to pay them still from that 1,000 Ghana cedis, I'm supposed to pay withholding tax. I'm supposed to pay a whole lot of taxes. In fact, for everything I buy to organize my event or every service I procure, I'm supposed to pay tax on it. It almost feels as though I have been taxed too many times on that same amount of money that I have made.
Yeah, taxation is governed by law. If you have employees and you withhold from their income and pay to Ghana Revenue Authority, you are not the one paying. You are only paying on their behalf, but it is the employee who is actually making that payment. Number two, if you go to rent a place for which you have to actually undertake your activity, is that okay? For which there's a withholding tax. That is also another, tax. But remember, withholding taxes, at the end of the day, are taxes that you are paying, but somebody else is withholding on your behalf.
No, but if I rent an auditorium, I pay the what do you call it? The person renting charges me VAT, don't they?
Yes.
So I pay extra tax on that. On the same income.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't
you see, we have to.
We've just been joined by the president of the Volta regime. Adam, go get him.
Let's go.
In the studios. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Looking fresh and fly.
Thank you.
Have you paid your taxes?
Shouts to my wife. Have I paid my taxes?
Yes.
Which ones?
Your income tax.
I haven't paid.
Oh, I'm surprised.
No, please don't be surprised. I've paid other forms of taxes, but not the personal income tax.
Why not?
What happens is that throughout your transition as an artist, you deal with various people who do things on your behalf. So I was with Hammer, and then I moved to being on my own. So you don't really understand the taxes that go beyond the normal ones where you're doing a show, you have to go and pay, or you do business where there's withholding tax and all those things. But I was called by JRA. I went over there. I don't think it's anything that any of the artists should be scared about. It's dialogue, and then we try to move forward and do something that will impact our country. That's just about it.
Okay, so you've been there.
Yes, I've been there.
Okay. So you're going to pay your taxes in arrears or plus arrears?
Yes, I mean, they said we had some arrears. We had a very decent conversation, and I raised a few concerns. The concerns I raised was some of the things made sense, some didn't make sense to me. And for example, if artists are supposed to pay arrears, why weren't the artists approached a long time ago? Then two, if an artist has plied their trade for, let's say, the past 14 years, how are they going to be able to pay arrears because it's not realistic? Let's say even if every year you're supposed to pay 100,000 and you've defaulted or you haven't paid for 10 years, that makes it 1 million Ghana cedis. And so my concern and what I said over there was we should find a common ground that will make people not be scared of paying taxes. And then we move forward from there and say from, let's say, X date, everybody should pay. Because bear in mind, some people haven't registered their companies. So they are not even in the system. They are not even on the radar. And so I think that there should be a decent solution to it, and then everybody get to pay. And like I always say, when we pay, or as we are all committed to paying, we also entreat leadership to use it for the right purposes, so we don't dance calypso on the motorway, and we're good.
Ha!
Thank you very much. I think
okay,
you're an ambassador to GRA.
No, he's not an ambassador. Are you an ambassador to GRA?
No, I told them that they should select a few of us.
They could make an ambassador and pay you, so you can further pay your
actually
taxes
told them
on
that they should employ a few of us. Yes, we know ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yes.
But we are saying that they want progress for Ghana. So progress is people's education. Education is one of the key things for progress. So if they want us to move forward and people are not going to be in the light, we are not going to make progress. So they should make a deliberate effort. And they said they even do ads on Joy. And I'm like, we are the influencers. We are the ones who have people's ears. So they should be able to use us. Maybe if they go cut something small for the thing we for pay top, we don't mind. But they should use the influencers. This is the time we are needed to go to people and tell them that you guys are supposed to pay tax. It is going to help all of us. We are the people you look up to. We are also going to pay, or we are also paying.
Adam, go get him. Yeah, Uncle Ken.
You've held me back a lot.
Oh, have I? Uncle Ken, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
No, but Sadiq is here, so
are you sure?
Introduce him. You haven't even introduced him.
Well, Sadiq is here. Sadiq,
yes,
Abubakar.
Yes,
what a life day, so. But it's okay. You're welcome. So Sadiq is one of the people who has a lot to say about taxes. So Sadiq is the organizer of the 3 Music Awards. He also does business with Boomplay, and he's a part owner of the Fantasy Dome.
Oh, I beg you.
Sadiq, you're welcome.
Yes,
we have the big man from the GRA here to talk to us about all we need to know about our taxes and why we ought to pay as responsible citizens.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
Well, I think that it's in order. Initially, some of us took up arms.
We're up in arms.
Yeah, we're up in arms. In fact, in terms of how it was directed initially, but of course that was an uninformed
position.
But I mean, I pay taxes, so I think that it's in order. It's captured in the law. And so we are required to, everybody's supposed to pay taxes. And of course, taxes is what contributes to development of the nation. But before I go on, you made a point about the various taxes. During the 3 Music Awards, one person we're working with on taxes gave us an idea of how to effectively help to calculate. So apparently, in the process or leading up to the events, if we can track all the taxes we pay to suppliers, to people that work on the event and all of that, that could be factored in so that, for instance, the ticket taxes can
be reduced.
I don't know if you can confirm that. But,
take it again.
I mean, he made a point that because we were like, we pay after everything else, you take the 17.5. I mean, it's
the VAT.
The VAT. So that he made the point, ticket sales. So he made the point that once you're registered, you're a tax registered organization, and in the process leading up to the event itself, you're making all the payments you do. You can show track record of the taxes or withholding taxes and everything that you've collected or taken from the various contractors or people, suppliers working for you, and you can file all of that. It could be factored in the calculations, the total calculations of it. So the total figure could go down in leading up to the event. That's one of the education we got with regards to that, which we've taken in. But I think that taxes is good. Of course, it was the approach, but then again, in terms of the law,
do you know the approach? When they call you, they say, "Give me John Dumelo's number." You say, "I don't have John Dumelo's number." So you are avoiding tax, and you are helping your friends to avoid tax.
Did anybody call you? But
I have 3 testimonies of 3 people who were called, and they said the number of John Dumelo they were giving was the wrong number.
But it needs to be said that.
All I have to say right now is that after Adam's submission this evening, I would like to say we can confidently bring this matter to a close. Because here's somebody within the industry who has admitted to the fact that every citizen needs to honor their tax obligations.
May I ask? Oh, Uncle Ken, you've not finished. Uncle Ken, you finish. When you finish, you say I'm done.
I'm done.
So that I don't butt in.
And when Mr. Nab was talking, he made a certain point, and you tried to raise it. Abu has also tried to raise it. He made a certain point about honestly declaring. That is critical. Honestly declaring, because your point was, if you're going to organize an event or something and you pay this to this person, you pay that to that person, you pay that to that person, and all those payments attract a certain kind of tax. If you do not compute your accounts to take to the revenue people at the end of the year for them to go through and see all what you have done, to be able to compute and say that because of all what you have done, you are not supposed to pay any tax at all. And so they owe you monies. Do you know that can happen? Yes, that is all you're being asked to do.
And in fact, they are even advising that where withholding tax is taken from you. So if I'm an event organizer, I engage Adam, I take withholding tax. He's supposed to take a receipt from
Thank you.
A certificate.
So that becomes part of his
Taxes that he's
yes, that he presents to them at the end of the year.
For people who don't take.
So we do not know this. And that is why I am happy from what Adam said after engaging the folks. The ministry has now come out to tell us that in collaboration with the GRA and the Ministry of Finance, they have decided to sort of give what's that word? Moratorium?
Yes. The amnesty, the tax amnesty.
No, the amnesty has expired. This one is a moratorium.
Oh no, but let me find out, Mr. Nab. Is the tax space also getting an amnesty after the main one?
Oh no, we have a lot of tax incentives actually, and I think we'll discuss those things. But the amnesty is over.
The amnesty is over.
It's over.
So now they're going to have educational programs, seminars, and what have you, to educate the members of the industry as to what they are supposed to do and how they can come up with paying their taxes. What I really want to say is, if you spend so much and do the right thing, at the end of the year, you might even be owed money and not pay anything to anybody, because this business involves a lot of outlay. The music business involves a lot of outlay, or the industry we're in involves a lot of outlay. Before you stage an event, Abu, you yourself, you know what you go through. You know, you pay this, you pay that, you pay this, you pay that, you pay that. The most important thing is to make sure you do your accounts so that you can present these accounts at the end of the year. And people should not think that they are detailed accounts as such. Expenditure and income.
That's all.
Simple. And present it to them. And that's why the honesty comes in. If you present it to them and you are not honest, and they detect you are not honest, then you suffer for it.
Mr. Nab, so this education that's going to be done by the Ministry of Tourism, after the education is done, then we are required to pay our taxes. This education, collection post the education, is it still going to be in arrears? Or
no, I believe some have paid, some are paying, some are yet to be contacted. Is that okay? Yeah, yes. But let me just quickly address this, and then I'll come to you. Yeah, he said that somebody told him that once they pay the Get Fund, NHIL, and then the VAT, then that become part of their taxes. Is that okay? That one, you see, we have direct tax and indirect tax. So the VAT, NHIL, and all those things, they fall under what we call the indirect tax. So by law, once you are a producer of an event, the law requires that you register and then you charge. Are you getting it? The VAT. That is not actually income tax. Are you getting it? At the end of the day, you realize that you are only acting as a conduit to collect the money on behalf of Ghana Revenue Authority. It is actually the consumer who pays the tax. I'm talking about the VAT, the area. You are only a conveyor belt, so to speak, for that purpose. What the person was saying is that if you suffer a withholding tax on account of your business, that withholding tax becomes part of your taxes. So that at the end of the day, when you file your tax returns, then that will be part of your taxes. Is that okay? That is what it is. In your submission, you were talking about the fact that the education that we are going to have, it is just for everybody to appreciate. We have realized that few of the persons we engaged, they went out there, and then what they were actually telling the society probably did not reflect the conversation we had. You understand? I am so intrigued by what Mr. Adam said. He said the conversation was very interactive, very interesting. And he raised concerns. And I'm sure those concerns were adhered to. That is what it is. So we now want to call all of you. You come and then we have some interactions.
Okay.
Because clearly, in some cases, you may be employees of the producers. In other cases, you may also be self-employed. We need to actually be able to distinguish this. Because if you are an employee, then we expect that the producer would withhold. Are you getting it? But it does appear as if all of you are self-employed persons.
Not all.
There are a lot more people that are, self-employed. They are, contractors or suppliers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've registered at the Register General. Just that some of you haven't come to Ghana Revenue Authority to do that. So we are pleading and asking that you come and register with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and then we'll take you through. But the education we are going to have is just to help clarify some of these things, and for you to also have comfort that we are not targeting the entertainment industry. We are not at all. It is just our normal work. Are you getting it? Just that you have the media space. So once one person is invited, and it goes out there.
No, I think it's the frustrations of working in the space that's probably pushing. The kind of narratives that
especially for those of us who do pay our taxes and have been paying for the last 10 years, and yet we still have to use.
I thought you said we are all of a sudden we are asking you to pay. Well, if you have been paying all along, then encourage others to pay.
Because we work, even though we are in one industry, we work in different sectors. I work with an employer who pays on my behalf.
Oh, okay.
That's an example. Yeah. But then, say Adam doesn't. So he's self-employed. So he's supposed to come to you directly. And for many others who have to come to you directly and don't know that they have to, and they haven't paid all this time, then they have been burdened with, having to pay arrears and all of that. So for those of us who have been paying for like 10 years now, so we consider some of the things we expect to have in the industry that we don't get.
Exactly.
It raises concerns. For you have agreed you're going to pay your taxes, and a lot of people who have actually gone to meet the GRA agree that they're going to pay their taxes. But you, for example, moving forward,
they have a choice not to pay.
It's not you don't have a choice, but people have been saying that they are ready to go to jail and will not pay. We read that in the news.
Yeah, I know it's because perhaps, like I indicated,
it was not from a very informed point of view.
So that is the reason why we want to have education and clarify some of these things.
We appreciate it.
And there are questions I asked which I want to ask here.
Okay.
One of my questions is, if an artist or a celebrity is with a producer, maybe let's say in 2008, but then goes to register a company, but then doesn't actively use that company for business, what are the indexes that GRA uses to tell the person that you have to pay income tax? I'm saying this because one of the things I realize is that other companies that are linked to the artist pops up in the system, and GRA doesn't really know if the company is active or is redundant. So for somebody who maybe has been signed by Nashoko, but the person also registered his company with a hope that in 5 years, when I'm not under the stables of Nashoko, I want to start my own, but I want to register it now. Once it's a TIN number, 4 or 3 of those companies might be redundant but will be linked to the person. Does that influence the amount that is perceived to be paid by the person? Does that influence it?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Adam. The truth of the matter is that taxation is actually based on income. So if there's no income, you don't pay any tax. But you see, the truth of the matter is that people don't understand this. You can file a return to indicate that you haven't done any business on account of that company, and that is what it is. Yeah, exactly. You get it. Nobody's going to ask you to pay. And remember that you, as an individual, you are different from the company. Here we are talking about the company tax. So you haven't done any work. There wouldn't be any tax. You get it. But if you work with it, then we expect that you actually file your tax returns. Is that okay?
No.
Uncle Ken, before I come to you, Uncle Ken, I'd like us to talk to Ajete. He and some of our colleagues met with the minister to talk about some things in the industry, including this issue of taxation. So he's joined us on the line to just let us know what transpired and his opinion. Hello, Ajete.
Hi.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Great. So, Ajete, we're told that earlier this week, you and some of our colleagues paid a visit, was it last week, to the minister to talk about some issues, and then this matter of taxation and taxing people in showbiz came up. What exactly did you talk about?
Well, it was a meeting with the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, of course, and then industry stakeholders as well, meeting the finance minister, as he said. But basically was to, physically emphasize the role that the industry plays in job creation, hope and opportunity for the youth, amongst others, and also to reinforce the Ghanaian authenticity and identity, and as well as selling brand Ghana, if you will. We also give them, certain statistics from UNESCO of how the creative industry has generated and created, jobs, revenue, that more than the global telecommunications, just for them to appreciate the fact that, with the right investments into this industry, we can reap so much. And of course, the tax concerns. When it came to the tax issue, the consensus was that, by the stakeholders, was that we agree to the fact that it is a civic responsibility, and therefore, we can't run away from that. The only issue was the sudden, call on us to pay arrears that were running to billions, and that was quite alarming. And so, how then do we negotiate that so that it's easier on us? And of course, some of the figures. What were the basis for those? The fact that we're in an industry where the structure is not well defined in terms of the jobs that we do are not contract based. Majority is not on contract basis, and so people are paid cash. And therefore that individual to individual trying to make sure that you go and pay your taxes is something that has become a challenge. And of course, there are other people who are not too educated on that as well, both producer and artists. And so, of course, when we shared this, the finance minister appreciated it and said that they were going to have some meetings, with GRA and see how this would be made easy on us. That also, not relenting, there was also the need for us to individually still file our returns. And even if you're giving $1 million to come out there and tell us that, oh, this is not the case. These are the jobs that I during this period I didn't do any job at all, etc., etc. So it was basically coming to an understanding and also find ways in making it easier for us to us meet our obligations in a nutshell.
All right, great. Thanks for sharing. Now, after coming to this understanding that, it's our civic responsibility and we ought to pay and all of that, as an actor and a major player in this industry, what are your expectations at the end of the day? As, after you pay your taxes, what are your expectations, or what do you hope that the government would do for the industry?
Well, obviously, it's been a number of things. We're talking about the National Film Bill, which has, fortunately was passed, but has been on the shelf because there's supposed to be a film authority that is supposed to be established to be the arms and legs, if you will, of implementing this bill. And that hasn't been done. And so we're still stuck. The whole idea of what kind of working environment, enabling environment are we creating for the industry? While on the side we're also putting our acts together, but because it isn't only a government input, but also our role in terms of how do we our disciplinary level, attitudinal changes, etc. And so we need them to come in investing. In parallel, today we're having people complain about the motorway, for example, and that they've been paying their taxes. That's a different scenario because they have been paying and they're not getting, the returns. But in our case, that is not really the issue. And so I expect that some educational, processes would be activated to really educate us. Most of our producers, unfortunately, may not have, too much education or the necessary qualifications, but out of passion, out of love, that they're in this. But it also doesn't exempt them from paying the what do you call it? The taxes. And so we need government inputs, at all levels, not just in investing, but also the policy aspect. That for me is a key one.
All right, Ajit, thank you so much for talking to us.
My pleasure.
All right. That was actor Ajete Anan, popularly known as Pusha. Pusha, oh Pusha. Uncle Ken.
You realize that upon this development, there's been so much conversation going on various networks and in our daily space, over, and I've heard certain things that got me slightly worried. What got me slightly worried was the fact that there were some industry players saying that if we pay our taxes, we need to see those monies being used for particular things
In the industry.
And that got me worried a bit, because I do not think that every person that pays taxes in Ghana pays it for their benefit directly, so to speak, because the monies go into a pool and is used for development in general. If taxes were industry specific, then I would say, okay, then you have, for instance, like Ajete just said, with the
bill,
the motorway toll. You ask yourself, why is that toll being collected? Somebody will tell you that it is collected as part of monies that go into the road fund. Others will think that it is because it is collected at that point, it's supposed to be for the motorway and for everything that happens on that motorway. Unfortunately, we do not have those distinctions, so to speak, to be able to say, yes, because the monies are collected at this point, this is where it's supposed to be used for. And that's what I'm saying about our the entertainment industry.
Yes.
That if you're asked to pay tax, it does not mean that the tax that you're going to pay will be used for something to do with the entertainment industry.
Yes, but Uncle Ken, you see, I think the concern is that if you feel that you're in an industry that constantly pays tax and you're doing so well with your collection,
correct,
and
but are you?
And I believe the GRA is doing a very good job of collecting taxes.
We're not talking
in the
about the GRA. We're talking about the industry.
I think the struggle is income tax.
Yeah,
Aside income tax, I think all other taxes are being paid,
but
especially with event organizers, etc.
Correct.
But so if you see that, okay, so you're doing a great job paying your taxes.
I get your point.
And for so long, the industry is being ignored. You don't see any development in the industry.
You have a right
from the
to
side,
ask.
You have the right to ask.
To ask questions.
I think that why Pusha will say something like that is, to be very honest, what comes before being in the music or entertainment industry is being a Ghanaian. So off the top of your head when you speak, sometimes you speak as a Ghanaian,
correct,
not an entertainer. And as a Ghanaian, if we can all be honest, we haven't seen what taxpayers' money has been doing for us.
Exactly.
This is all honesty. So
yes,
sometimes somebody might just zone it down to their industry because that is where their passion lies. But even on the holistic level, Ghanaians as a people, none of us have ever been happy.
Excellent point.
Yes.
Excellent point, Adam. But then the statistics will also tell you that 27 million people are supposed to be in this country.
Yes.
Out of 27 million people, what would you say if only 1.2 million were paying tax?
Yeah. You cannot do much.
What can we use that money for to cater for 27 million people, Adam? This is the problem we have in this country. A lot of us are not paying taxes.
Exactly.
A lot of us, and the informal sector. It's only 200 people in the 200,000 in the informal sector, and 1 million in the formal.
Entertainment people move to the informal now.
They are informal already. Entertainment people are informal already.
So I guess.
So to speak, Adam. So we have a huge problem, and we, the same people, will get up on the rooftops demanding this and that and that and that and that and that and that. But if only 1,200,000 people are paying taxes for 27 million.
Even if we have about 70% of the population paying,
then we could
be in a good
yes,
place.
Exactly.
then we could be
But
talking.
you know,
here.
sorry, Mr. Nab, I want to read this message to you because I think I've been trying to ask you this. I just haven't been able to put the words together.
Okay.
So Prosper Kwashi says, now I have a problem with tax authorities and people like the gentleman in your studio who talk about the law of taxation without due cause to human behavior. You see, probably they don't have what it takes to understand human behavior, and qualitatively so. It is the responsibility of the government or the tax authorities to design the system in such a way that people who are expected to pay their taxes understand why they have to pay the taxes and do not escape the net. Human behavior is such that you cannot expect voluntary declaration and payment of taxes if there's nothing to compel people to do so, and that's just human behavior.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. You see,
Yeah.
that is very profound, but it's something we need to actually take note of. When it comes to this voluntary tax compliance that we are talking about, we are saying that there are certain enabling environment. When they are put together, then it would create that kind of
enabling environment.
For example, we are talking about education. We think that with constant education, people will get to know that there's a need, for them to pay taxes. And education has always been very incremental, especially from the GRA's point of view. You go to the newspapers, you see GRA constantly reminding taxpayers. Then two, we also think that if we are able to conduct, especially audits, tax audits that are being done in a manner that is very transparent, people will think that no, it is not witch hunting, it is just our normal work. Then the efficient collection of taxes and penalties and sanctions, they are there. Are you getting it?
And reward.
Of course, I'm sure other entities, even GRA does that. Occasionally, at the end of the year, we organize some awards where we take. Okay.
Unfortunately, Adam has to leave us. He has to run. But before you go, what will be your final words?
I'll release the new song.
I like that.
Which one is it?
And pay new taxes.
He has to pay taxes on the song.
My new song is the title of my new song is Toto. You should go and download it.
What does it mean?
So Toto in my language means sunrise.
Sunrise.
So I say yes. We hustle from sunrise. So if you're a Ghan,
which language is that?
That's Ewe.
Okay.
Yes, Ewe language. Yeah, Toto.
Okay.
What?
Yes. So say yes, it's an alphabet that's like X, but goes here. So
like Jose.
Yes, exactly. So Toto means sunrise. So we hustle from sunrise.
Okay.
Yes. So go and download it.
That song would do so well in Teshi, especially during Kojimo.
The fact that they have raised an assessment on you does not mean that is the finality. If you think that you have reasons, is that okay? Enough grounds to object. That no, the assessment is so much. Give reasons, and GRA would take it, on board.
Anyway,
artists, let's be friends with GRA. Let's help Ghana grow.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, we would like to hear from you also. 0244-340-437 is the number to reach us on. 0244-340-437. In the meantime, I'd like you to take a listen to Toto.
gathering over the Empowerment Worship Center, where the set man of the house, Prophet Gideon Danso, with mighty men across the globe, will stir, charge, and set the atmosphere right for heaven to kiss the earth. Heaven on Earth 2018 with Gideon Danso, Adam Derso, Bradley Knight, Kian Hedison, Biodun Fatayimbo, Marty Thompson, and a special youth edition with Manny Arango. What's more, we finish hard with Phil Thompson and EWC live in worship. 13th to the 18th of November 2018 at the Empowerment Worship Center Auditorium, Achimota, near the new bus terminal, right behind the Stambik Bank. Morning session, 9 a.m. Evening session, 6 p.m. Far, listen, don't be on time, beat the time. Heaven on Earth 2018, Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
Start making the simple things simpler. Start using your MasterCard instead of cash. Start buying groceries, shopping online, or at your favorite store, all using your MasterCard. Start enjoying the freedom of a MasterCard in your pocket, knowing the simple things are taken care of with easy, safe, and secure transactions. MasterCard. Better than cash.
Many of us stand the chance of becoming victims of globalization, not the shakers and the movers.
That a great man was asked, how do you bring up children? And he said, the first is by example, the second by example, and the third by example.
What are the top 10 things?
Albert, I should confess to you, it's a very difficult subject you're handling.
If you ever found Kelly anywhere, system has two. The three legs of those two are faith, truthfulness, and enjoyment. Please don't pull any of these legs out. If you do, you will fall.
10 years of reviewing the past, situating the present, and predicting the future. Springboard, your virtual university, matriculates at 7 p.m. and graduates at 8 p.m. every Sunday on Joy 99.7 FM.
Springboard is a very significant intervention in our national life. The radio program, the virtual university, and the roadshow have become important factors in the development of our human capital.
Springboard is brought to you by Legacy and Legacy and Joy FM, and proudly sponsored by EcoBank, MTN, and Central University, with support from the graphic business.
Hi, this is Sharon Lecter, co-author of Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Rich Dad series. Remember to keep listening to Springboard, your virtual university with Albert Okran. It's going to help you create financial freedom for yourself and your families.
Springboard, your personal value will shoot up.
Here's how we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Soul Town. Turn up.
What it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ.
The battle is on again. The heat is on again. The best DJ's about to do the thing again. Bragging rights, yes you can have it right. If you put your hand to the deck and spin till we have firelight. Firelight, yes on the line. Hits hottest DJ is next on the line.
You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ.
Come, all ye people. The clouds are gathering over the Empowerment Worship Center, where the set man of the house, Prophet Gideon Danso, with mighty men across the globe, will stir, charge, and set the atmosphere right for heaven to kiss the earth. Heaven on Earth 2018 with Gideon Danso, Adam Derso, Bradley Knight, Kian Hedison, Biodun Fatayimbo, Marty Thompson, and a special youth edition with Manny Arango. What's more, we finish hard with Phil Thompson and EWC live in worship. 13th to the 18th of November 2018 at the Empowerment Worship Center Auditorium, Achimota, near the new bus terminal, right behind the Stambik Bank. Morning session, 9 a.m. Evening session, 6 p.m. Far, listen, don't be on time, beat the time. Heaven on Earth 2018, Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives.
Graphic Business, in partnership with Stanbic Bank, presents the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank Breakfast Meeting under the theme Financing Free Quality Education in Ghana, Sustainable Funding Options. On the panel are Professor Ernest Ayite, former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana and an economist, Israel Titi Ofer, Principal, SOS Herman Minor International College, Tema, and Professor Opoku Amankwa, Director General of the Ghana Education Service. Date is the 12th of November 2018 and time is 7 a.m. The venue is Labadi Beach Hotel. This event is sponsored by Stanbic Bank with support from Joy Business and Labadi Beach Hotel. To participate, log on to graphic.com or call Joyce on 0244 266006. Graphic Business, setting the business agenda.
What is all this? One Ghana pay. What is it?
Charlie, do you know that with 1 Ghana city pay, you can refresh yourself with a chilled bottle of Pepsi, Mirinda, and 7-Up? Pay 1 Ghana city pay, not more.
1 Ghana, 1 Ghana, 1 Ghana, 1 Ghana, 1 Ghana,
Pepsi.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
Kiddy. Captain to the planet. Very good bad guy. Cause I miss you, right? Hold out of mercy. Let's go. My friend, that's on fire. My fiora knows you.
It's Showbiz A to Z. Joy 99.7 FM.
I used to be a player. Although my sister now me a goalkeeper. Pawakuma no mami na mi kuta. Mr. Boniface Odo Sambra. Na uja me a meya mobo Sandra. Kai, uja me pekolebu. Emergency doctor, so me move. Odo bubu makuma, mi bebu. Mi turo nyina fena mi su. Odo da baby mi su mi da baby. Brana mi so wumuti se chobi. Come make a pamper you baby. Be a papa, if you come to daddy. Dabena ubaba, Odo please I'm sorry. I promise you go be my one and only. Captain to the planet. My friend, that's on fire. My fiora knows you. Odo beba na mebu. Cause I miss you, right? Cause I miss you, right? My friend, gonna tell you. So nice, super. So nice, super. Your body so nice, super. So nice, super. Yeah, so nice, super. So nice, super. Your body so nice, super. Yeah, I feel do anything for your love. I'ma get I do what I don't. Love you nice and tall. Girl say now you I want to. Come to me, come make me roll. Don't you leave me on the road. Baby girl, now you I want to. When you know they, now you I need. You know they try to be relevant, no. Now they give your body to another man, no. Oh my baby,
Music by R2Bs. They call this one Super. The time is exactly 25 minutes to the top of the hour. And we're discussing taxation. Celebrities and taxes. Now they say they will pay.
And because is what level?
What level? Now they say they will pay. I say we say we'll pay. Me, I've always been paying, so me, I don't get problem.
Yeah.
Charlie, I have a feeling this man is going to check when he goes back. I beg you, don't put my name in the system. I beg. So there was a question. I beg you. This is not my real face. So there was a question about normal human behavior and expectation of the taxman.
Ideally, when it comes to taxes, we shouldn't actually have people walking to GRA, to pay, because you are going to make payment. But we think that kind of thinking is actually giving way. People are beginning to appreciate the fact that they need to actually pay taxes to have things, done for them by government. And to that end, you have few people working. But we think that we can still do a lot as GRA to be able to actually ensure about 60% voluntary tax compliance. And we think that we need to start with education. We also think that occasionally when there's tax amnesty, for example, some few years ago this year we've had some tax amnesty. We think that all this will go a long way to encourage people to pay. Then again, there are also sanctions. Are you getting it? You fail to pay, when we actually get you, we ensure that you pay interest and penalties. That alone is deterrent. So I don't quite agree with him that in human behavior, unless we GRA go to them, they wouldn't come to pay.
Some people will assume that you will not find out about them, and you probably wouldn't.
But there are some who have been found out, and they have suffered the consequences.
They'd rather wait and see.
That is true. But you see, the point is this. Remember that when it comes to taxation, we have to also look at the canons of taxation, economy. If I have to spend 500 to get 100, I mean, it is not worth it.
Isn't it the same the other way around? That if I have to take my car and drive all the way to the tax office to come and file nil and go back to my office, what's the economic connection there?
When you pay your taxes, then you can actually demand accountability, of government. But if you don't pay your taxes, you don't have any right.
And that's the point.
Are you getting it? So for me, people who come out to agitate that they want X, Y, Z, we should ask them whether they actually pay taxes. Yeah. Now, come to think of it, we have a big project as a country, which is free education. Are you getting it? And whether we like it or yes, it is something that is very good and we need to encourage it. And somebody is paying for it. Are you getting it? Somebody is paying. It is through taxes. Otherwise, we can't fund it. You get it? So we need to actually, as a country, just know that, look, we have tried several other ways. They have never worked for us. Why don't we try taxes? Pay our taxes promptly and let government, provide whatever we need.
You see, Adam made a point about the fact that, as a country, we generally have a problem with development.
No, other countries are doing that.
Exactly. So because of this, so if I live in fact, where I live, my roads are so bad, extremely bad, and I'm constantly paying my taxes. I feel the pain.
But are you?
I am.
Are you? Not you. Not you.
You may be paying.
Are you getting it? But are the populace paying their taxes?
Yes. So let's say that you pay your taxes, okay, and then you are having this. You live in this neighborhood with really bad roads. Your street lights don't work. In fact, there are no street lights for them to even work, and all of that. It's painful to have to constantly pay the tax. So if I don't see any development, then how do you convince me to pay? You see, it is true that you need to pay so that you see the development, but many are paying. And yet nothing is done.
Unfortunately, many are not paying. So those who are paying are quite few. That is a sad reality. That's the sad reality.
So people gamble. People gamble with it, and they say, you know what? I'll rather wait and see. In fact, the last time I had a conversation with some of my colleagues in the industry, we found that some had been served letters and others hadn't been served. Some who hadn't been served said they will wait to be served, even though others were willing to say, you know what? Let's all go. Let's go and find out what's happening. Let's understand, and then let's begin to pay our taxes, so that one day when we become bigger hits, or we don't have issues, because you never know how big you're going to be eventually. There were people who still said, no, I will wait, because I don't think they'll find out about me. The authorities, how long has it taken for them to even... They mentioned some very famous watch sellers and said, are they paying their taxes? They are famous. Everybody knows about them. They have Instagram accounts, but they don't pay their taxes. So if you can... this is information that we know.
Interestingly enough, they have every person in the entertainment industry has been served. You know why?
I haven't been served.
Per our law, what is
don't come and serve me.
Your last known address. Once we post a letter to your last known address, it is deemed that you have been served. You get it. So please, if you haven't gotten your letter, take it that you have been served and walk to GRA. That is what it is. Otherwise, if we are able to show you proof that we have served, just that you are telling us you haven't gotten anything, are you getting it? You never can tell the kind of action that may be taken against you.
Why don't you put out some kind of constructive notice in a newspaper or something?
Oh no, but we this engagement is part of it. Are you getting it? And there are other platforms that GRA is using to sustain the education. And we intend to actually invite you to come so that we can have some interactions.
So the monies that you are quoting in the letters that you are sending, how do you come by them? For example, somebody has been charged, like, say, 10,000 Ghana cedis. How do you come by that 10,000 Ghana cedis?
You have no idea the kind of information that the Commissioner General gets at his desk every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we pay money into our bank accounts, you go and check.
Well, I don't know what he has. But what I do
you are his representative.
No, yes, that is true. But what I do know is that he gets information quite often on his desk about certain persons. We also read about some
deals.
Yeah, in the papers. Are you getting it? A whole lot. But you see, the point is that we have what we call best judge.
It's possible those things could be for hype.
Oh, not really. I mean, not really.
We've heard about some hypes.
I'm glad when you said that people from your setup have been trained to know how the industry works. Yeah. And so they are able to apply. Yeah. If they indeed know, they would come to realize that these things happen all the time. And there's even one part that has not been mentioned. You know that it's been happening. There's a situation where Nashoko is an actress. Let's say Lydia Forson is also an actress. Nashoko starts a project, invites Lydia Forson to come and to say, okay, come and act for me. I don't pay you. I will only pay you back with another service on your sets. It happens a lot in the industry, you know. So when you I want to understand how they understand the space enough to be able to go by it, because I mean clearly, like I indicated about the hype, and then he said, no, I'm thinking perhaps.
Okay, you see, let's
understand the industry.
Let's look at it this way. If I try to find out income that you make, and I have some challenges, I can go the other way around by looking at your expenditure. If I'm able to get your expenditure, are you getting it? Then it will inform me about your income, because it is
my expenditure.
Oh, well, I mean, I told you Commissioner General has a lot of...
my expenditure?
Yes.
In the UK, they do that.
How do you get my expenditure if you can't even get how much
I am not talking about expenditure on the foodstuffs that you spend on. That's what I'm talking about. There are certain projects. Your lifestyle can also, yes.
No, but how do you track it? It's likely that I get borrowed.
Maybe I have a rich husband.
Yes.
Oh, fine.
And my husband just buy me cars.
But you see, the burden of proof, the burden of proof lies on you. My duty as a tax officer is to invite you.
Yes.
And say that per my assessment, I think that you earn income of so much. So now you would have to prove whether that is the case or not.
Exactly.
You know, and in other countries, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
We have been trained professionally.
You can't live a flamboyant lifestyle and get away without paying tax.
Uncle Ken, a lot of people are living flamboyant lifestyles without
in this country they are.
Let me ask the taxman.
But what we're saying is that you can't do that elsewhere.
Let me ask the taxman. If my husband gives me $1 million and I buy 2 flashy cars, and so you see that I am living a flamboyant lifestyle, you cannot charge me any tax on money that my husband has given me. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the position of the law.
Okay. So how are you going to, I mean...
So when we invite you to our office, then you tell us that, oh, that $1 million.
Correct.
You got it for your husband.
Yes.
Then we can proceed from there.
Yeah. That's how it's...
So it is my word against yours. It's not good enough, in my opinion.
Yes, I'm saying that we have other things that we use. I'm not sure you want me to...
You don't want to disclose
I
to us.
do that.
Why don't you... We want to understand.
No.
So that we understand the extent to which...
We have access you to tax of so much. Are you getting it?
So come and disprove.
Yes, that is all that there is.
So are you intentionally charging so much?
We are not. We
so
are doing
that
professionally,
because people have been charged some very huge $100 million and the rest.
And have they told you that they haven't earned that much?
They said when they saw it, they were scared because even the productions they have done. So are you intentionally quoting those figures so that
the truth of the matter is that some of them
coax us into conversations?
And when we take them into areas where we got the figures, then they become quiet. They wouldn't come and tell you. Are you getting it? They wouldn't. Some also come and distort, information. But the truth of the matter is that we actually conduct, before we serve you a letter, we have done background checks.
That's so much work for each person in the industry.
So if you say that for a very long time we have not been coming, for all you know, we actually spend time trying to actually come up with solid rock evidence. Are you getting it? Evidence that you cannot actually, that you cannot actually dispute.
Yes, but at the end of the day, when the evidence comes and I can't even afford to pay it, then was it worth the time?
No, the point is this. It's not about,
and this is
did you earn that income last year? If you did, Are you getting it? Then you have to pay the tax.
So what happens if what happens if one cannot afford to pay? How much you are?
It is not by word of mouth that you cannot afford.
Yeah, I mean, if I can prove that I cannot afford it,
fine. Is it through courts?
I don't know. How do you prove that? Because if you are charging me tax for 10 years, for the last 10 years,
nobody has gone that
and really,
far.
I can't.
Nobody.
So are you going to forgive the ones from
6 years? What have been served is 6 years because that's what it is.
Okay. So
are you
going to forgive the ones from before 6 years ago?
If for any reason you probably finished your tax returns about 10 years ago, and then we detect that it was actually done out of fraud or out of some malice, that one the Commissioner General has a right to go as far back as even 20 years. But if it is not fraud, the law limits us to 6 years.
Yeah. I see. So again, 6 years is still a long time. If I earned 100,000 every year, or if I was to pay 100,000 every year, and now I have to pay 600,000 to you, and I don't have 600,000 Ghana cedis.
You don't. Yes, but you don't have it today. We pray with you to have.
I don't know where I'm going to get 600,000 from.
You are arranged because you are in business.
So you give payment plans, or what do you do?
Exactly. You just meet with the Commissioner General, and then it will be rescheduled.
I see.
Yeah, you can do that.
So you can get a payment plan.
You can have.
Okay.
Oh no, but every law is friendly. Every tax law is friendly.
The tax is not a friendly thing.
Oh, why?
How is it friendly?
Why is it not friendly?
Because you are voluntarily asking a person to come and give you money that they have hard-earned money.
Your capital. We are asking you to pay taxes out of the income that you earn. If you have
let me read a message from Antoine Mensah. He wants to find out. He says, "Now, please, can you ask about taxation on sales of music, songs, and albums, even when you are streaming?"
You're streaming.
Should I read it again? Could you ask about taxation on sales of songs and albums, even when streaming? So if I make money streaming online.
Yeah, the whole idea is income. So if you make income out of sale of songs, why will you not pay tax? Are you getting it? But remember.
So you just have to declare the total earnings on you make.
And you see, the law also allows you to provide expenses that you have incurred legitimately. Are you getting it?
And honestly.
In connection with the business. So, for example,
honest is very subjective.
You probably could even earn, let's say, 100,000. Your expenditure may go beyond 100,000. Your expenditure could go beyond.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at what you are saying. But someone has I beg, ask for me. Those Facebook malams who have been sending us friend requests, them they pay taxes. I beg.
That's the person who sent the message. Does he pay taxes?
I want you to lead us to the malam. And may I ask this question? You know, I'm going to.
Do you pay taxes?
Oh, it is him.
That's it.
All right, so I'm soon going to land a Hollywood role next year.
Okay.
In fact, in 2020, I'm going to be in a Hollywood film.
Okay.
And I'm going to pay so much money, a lot of money. Am I expected to pay the money in America, my taxes in America, since I earned the money over there?
I wouldn't want to pretend to know local the laws taxes in America, but whatever it is.
But when I come back to Ghana,
I would answer it. Whatever taxes that you pay over there, once you come here and disclose all the income, is that okay? There's something we call double taxation. Are you getting it? So when you pay taxes over there, then you bring the income here. Then we subject that income to tax. We are going to compare the taxes you have paid over there against the taxes that you have paid here. Are you getting it? And if the one you have paid over there is actually lower, it will be given to you as a relief.
So if the tax I paid over there is lower,
yes,
then when I come to Ghana, I will not have to pay taxes.
No, you will pay. You have to disclose because you have earned income over there and you are a resident person for tax purposes. So once you bring the income, we expect that you disclose the total income. The taxes that you have paid over there will be given to you as a relief.
Are there age limits on the people that pay taxes? Do you have to be 18 and above or younger to pay taxes?
Well,
because you have some young entertainers who've probably traveled out, are doing well in Hollywood, earning money now. What happens to them?
Yeah, we have what we call taxation of trust. So persons who are below 18 years and are working, they have persons who actually would have to front for them or represent them, so to speak. They would pay the taxes on their behalf. Because of certainly they can't, in law, you are a lawyer, they don't have the capacity. Is that okay to contract? So certainly we can't ask them to pay taxes once they are below 18.
Well,
I'm afraid of you. So may I ask, does it really matter how long you've been away for? Because if I'm resident in Ghana for tax purposes, that's great. But if I'm away for about 4 years working on this production, and so I am resident over there for 4 years, because if I'm there for more than 6 months at a time, then I'm considered a resident.
Yeah.
So if I'm there for say 4 years on this project, because it's some kind of Game of Thrones project, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to take a long time for us to shoot. You're not claiming it for me. So it's going to take a long time for us to shoot. So I'll be there for some time.
Yeah.
Right. So for the purposes of taxation, am I resident in Ghana or over there?
Yeah, you are resident in Ghana. Once you leave the shores of Ghana for a period continuously from not more than 365 days, you are still a resident of Ghana.
I'm saying more than. So I'm there for some years.
But once it goes beyond 365 days continuously, then you are no longer a resident of Ghana.
Okay.
Are you getting this?
Okay.
But while at it, what we are saying is that if you are a resident of Ghana and you are outside the country, working for an employer in Ghana or an employer based outside the country, what the law says is that you will pay your taxes in Ghana continuously until after 183 days. That is when you will no longer pay your taxes.
So someone like Abraham Atta is supposed to be paying taxes in Ghana?
No, but he's been gone for more than 2 years.
Yeah.
That young
actor. The young actor from Beast of No Nation.
Yes.
Who's now in Spider-Man and the other
I'm not too sure I know the age, but if it's below 18 years.
It's below 18.
Below 18. Then it means that his trustee is that okay? Would have to actually arrange.
But that's what they say.
But if it goes beyond 365 days, he will no longer be resident for tax purposes.
Recently, Leila Jansi brought some American actors to Ghana to come shoot a film, 40 and Single. They have come, they've shot the film and they have left.
Yeah.
For people like them, did you take taxes from them, or for tax purposes, are they to pay their taxes in Ghana or in America?
Yeah. What the law says is that if you are a non-resident person,
yeah,
and you are being promoted by a resident person, you should be treated. You, the non-resident person, will be treated as an employee.
Okay.
So whatever income that you earn in Ghana, then the resident person who is promoting
what
that
if the promoter herself is non-resident? If she herself is American?
It is not possible. They would have to lean on some other persons.
Yes. Her payments and everything must be...
Yeah, somebody. You can't have a situation
company.
where two non-resident persons will come to Ghana here without a
we have a lot of
collaboration.
those.
Are you sure it's not possible?
It is not. It can never happen.
A lot happens.
No, it is not possible.
Why do you say it's not possible?
We are happening in this industry for a very long time. When I'm talking.
When you say it's not possible, you mean it must not be done?
No.
Or you are saying it's not possible for that to happen?
No, it is not possible. Somebody would have to actually create that kind of a platform for them to come. You can't just get up from wherever.
Whatever it is, you should have a local fixer.
Exactly.
No, but she's making the point. Let me describe it well. She's making the point that, okay, so still in Leila Agency, for instance, she's not resident here. She's abroad. I'm not sure if her productions company is registered here or in the States, but she comes down to do productions. She comes with foreign actors, sometimes foreign production crew. Beyond the permits and all, from what I understand, she's supposed to pay taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
If in this case, even though she's Ghanaian by birth, she doesn't have a local fixer, and she comes in to do all this production, and most of her payments locally is cashed, and then beyond Ghana is say in dollars. How do you through the bank? How do you track some of these things? Because it's been happening a lot.
As a non-resident person, once you are coming to Ghana, in fact, your first point of call should be the Ghana Revenue Authority to understand their tax system. That is what happens. If you don't, then you are acting illegally.
But this person goes away. You cannot go and sanction them.
Well, you see, once we don't have information, that becomes a challenge.
So it's possible that you don't have.
No, we may not have, but I expect that wherever the permits and all those things are supposed to be paid, they would educate them. They would act as their employers in the case of some of these things. And why can't we collaborate with GRA? You in the entertainment industry, these are some of the things. You collaborate with us, then we work together. Are you getting it? Remember, we are partners.
As in working together and getting tax breaks. I mean,
no, but
working together, is to your benefit, not to the benefit of not to the benefit of the actor. So why should I collaborate with you?
To Ghana government, and then at the end of the day,
for me on the Ghana government part.
Is Leila Ghanaian?
I don't have that information. So
no, I'm asking this to
by birth. Currently, I don't know her status.
Is she regarded as a Ghanaian?
No idea.
We don't know.
No.
Yes, do we know if she has a tax record in Ghana?
No. Okay, so may I say that
I'm asking these because Leila has been doing a lot of things in Ghana over the years.
Okay,
she's not new.
Uncle Ken,
she's not
to this country.
She's not.
Uncle Ken.
So unless we get to know all this,
Uncle Ken, I don't mean to stop you in your tracks, but just to say that that was an example, not to say we're not talking about Leila as her person. No,
but you used
we're using her
as a case.
We're using her production as an example
because she doesn't live here most of the time.
So for example, a person who doesn't live here. Yeah. So the point is, say a person who doesn't live here, who comes in to do a production.
Exactly.
So that's the question. But I just use that as an example because she was the easiest person to come to mind. But we're not talking about her in person.
I understand.
Yeah. So here's a message from Prosper Kwashi again. He said, "Well, look, how effective is a system that invites you for a chat to know how much tax you are supposed to pay? The system should be such that what you pay as tax is not done by mere conjecture." Oh my God.
But that is why you are supposed to present accounts.
Yeah, from Gweda Estate.
It is an intelligent conjecture. Why not?
Okay.
Are you getting it? I mean, once it's based
Is it possible for you to have a system where, you just know how much people are paid? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It is
so that,
I think
you don't have to invite.
Connecting the TIN. I think the banks have been giving directives to connect your TIN to banks. So if most of your payments or transactions goes through the bank, for instance, I don't know how they will be able to, but I guess that the whole idea is to be able to use the PIN to be able to
the TIN
track. Sorry, the TIN to be able to track.
But Sadiq, this industry we pay cash. Don't you pay cash?
A lot. We do a lot of cash payments.
We pay cash, and the cash doesn't go straight to the bank.
Yeah, that is true. In fact, we do know that some of these things happen. I get it. In a cash economy, certainly
the person sings as a funeral and he gets cash.
And then,
the
cash doesn't even come immediately. You can ask Jocelyn Dumas; she'll tell you.
You have to wait. By the time it comes, we would have depreciated.
The music would not give you your money immediately. By the time it comes, the dollar would have risen, and your money would have depreciated. All right, yeah. From Gweda Estate says, why do the people in the creative arts think that the taxes they are being asked to pay should be used for their direct benefit?
Exactly.
Or used within their industry only? It beats my mind. So should the taxes doctors pay be used to build new hospital wards? Should the taxes teachers pay be used for only teachers' issues? Whose taxes should be used for the roads, electricity, expansion, provision of water, construction of food bridges? They have been pampered for too long. Even the Kayayes pay tax on the little that they make.
They do? I thought they pay only tolls.
Yeah, I think that's
they pay tolls.
Yeah, tolls.
Yeah, a toll is not a tax.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay. All right. I'll read more of your messages coming in on 0244340437. Paying tax is good. Unfortunately, the culture of filing taxes isn't in Ghana. Let's start with the younger generation so that when they grow up, they'll file their taxes.
I disagree.
At the end of every year.
Oh no, I think that what he's trying to talk about is maybe in
inculcating the culture.
The curriculum.
But I think that technology. No, I disagree. That maybe I thought that he was thinking that let's take our mind off the older folks.
Oh no, I think he's talking about the fact that we should try to probably.
But I think that these things, technology will, if you eventually make it very simpler.
All right, Ajiman Joseph from Tema Community 9 says, "Hi now, I'm enjoying the conversation on taxation. Please, does it mean each person's net is going to be monitored? Are artists' income in every show they play going to be checked? Are you going to check all of our monies?"
Well, not really.
Does he have anything to hide?
Well, we are Ghanaians. We don't disclose our income.
Why wouldn't you disclose your income when the Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, says that disclose your income honestly to the appropriate authority?
The supreme law should know the people he's dealing with.
Everybody takes
the law is made for the people, not the other way around. I mean, the Constitution says it, but I mean, there's the way we do it. There's the way we are.
That's why it also specifies punitive measures, just in case you're not able to.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you are in the same industry with someone, you are paying your taxes. You see the person does not pay their their taxes, and they have not been found out, and they probably wouldn't be found out.
No, but I mean, you know that if they are, they could, if they fall foul of the law, for instance, they could be punished.
Okay. Can you believe sometimes they say this? I'm not sure why I'm laughing, and I apologize. Della, behave. Can you believe sometimes they send out people to see people's lavish weddings and lifestyle as part of information gathering? They will check your WhatsApp status and your social media handles.
Of course.
Once they once said the school fees you pay is a determinant of your income. I want to know if Ibrahim and Obi Nim are paying their taxes. Deposits to your accounts are tracked. Ish. I see you go to post weddings to check the cars they're using for their weddings.
I never said
lifestyle.
Why would we do that?
You check before you WhatsApp status.
This is too simplistic.
I haven't changed my number. You check before WhatsApp status.
As a defense. As a defense to their lavish lifestyle that people perceive that actors in this industry
actually making money
display. The same people come out with a rebuttal saying that, oh, no, what we post out there is only for show.
We are only slay queens.
It's only I'm glad about something. At least this process, if it's done effectively, should be able to give the state an idea of revenue, so the turnovers of the space, the art space. I mean, and I'm glad about it. And now more than ever, I'm glad that at least it will give people in the arts the opportunity and the power to demand for more, because they're paying for taxes. And I mean, if promises are made, they can demand for more. So it's good. Let them do it.
Exactly.
Let's read more messages. I hope you don't have my number. Now, please, what of us? What of we that do backdoor work? Weeding, cleaning, carpentry, etc. How do we pay ours? Because some of us, we sincerely want to pay, but we don't know how. But me, I won't pay though. I'm just asking for my friends. Davidson. Please let me give you his number so you can check his
No, but you see, when it comes to these artisans and whatnot, the law requires that the contractor making a payment to them should withhold 5% on whatever is paid.
Okay.
Is that okay? And I think there have been an attempt for those in the
fight go pie.
All right. Were you still saying something?
Yeah, I was just trying to say that those in the non-excluded financial sector, to bring them in through this unit trusts and mutual fund schemes, for them to be able to actually mobilize monies from them, so that when they declare dividend, I get it paid to them, then we can get it with tax. Is that okay?
Do you charge taxes on investments?
Not on investment, but the returns on investment.
Like on returns on investment. Yes. I see.
Yeah.
All right. Terry Menu from Italy says, now please ask the revenue man. I'm a Ghanaian born with an Italian citizenship. I'm here to do dual citizenship. Since foreign companies have tax breaks for investing in Ghana, what happens in my case when I finally establish my company in Ghana? Should I expect a tax break like a foreign company investing in Ghana?
Yeah, there are some incentives, under the tax laws. For example, if you are a young graduate entrepreneur, aged 35 and below, what the law says is that once you engage in manufacturing, tourism and creative arts,
tourism and creative arts?
Yes. You see, you didn't know that. Then farming.
On it.
Are you getting it? For 5 years, you are exempt from tax. Then after that, you have what we call locational incentives.
No, is this for nationals or foreigners?
No.
This for nationals?
We are looking at young graduates because, come to think of it, there are young graduates who have come out from, of school, they are not working. So government intends to actually encourage some kind of...
No, I need to be clear. Is it an intention now or it's enforced? It's in the law.
It's in the law.
Okay, so what you're saying is that a lot of the young people that just came from university have a number of creative arts business, either working digital social media marketing companies, have events companies, and are below the ages of 35 years.
Yes.
These people, regardless of who they engage, are not required to pay taxes.
I'm talking of their businesses. So if a young graduate entrepreneur, age 35 or below, engages in creative arts, and I'm sure there are a lot of branches under creative arts, but we are looking at the general umbrella. For 5 years, you will not pay tax. And if you are after 5 years, when you are located in Accra, Tema, you pay tax at a rate of 15%.
But I'm below the age of 35 years.
Oh, of course.
But
there are others. No, you see, when the law is done, it doesn't mean that everybody must necessarily benefit.
Is that the point?
Oh, no, I'm
Come
saying
again.
when the law is made, it doesn't mean that everybody must necessarily benefit. Because if the law is targeted at persons who are 40 years, and you are above 40, must you necessarily benefit?
Well, if you are not 40,
This is breaking news to a lot of the young people in the arts
So if you, so like me,
So what's the form of the tax breaks they get?
No, the exemption, total
exemption
So
for 5 years.
For 5 years. And then apart from that, when they
I
make
have follow-up questions, but you
when they also make losses, they can carry over their losses for 5 years.
Carry over
Their
into
losses.
the 6th, 7th, 8th year.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, so that would be 10 years.
Okay.
I get it. So after 5 years, tax exemption, I make in a safe year, I make a loss. I can carry it over.
Okay.
I getting it. So that in a safe year, when I make income, I will deduct the loss before.
Okay.
I pay
So
the tax.
let me be clear. I'm below the ages of 30. I'm below the age of 35.
Yeah.
I run say 3 Music. I'm not supposed to pay tax. Does this mean that even when I organize concert or event, this typical 70.5% that you take from
You're talking about income tax.
Oh, income tax.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So my personal income tax.
Personal income.
That's what he's talking
All right. Now the taxman himself does not
that's
disclose his
what-
income.
no, no,
Does
that's
honestly
what- what form
disclose.
of
But in the
tax
case
breaks?
of the lady who says she's an Italian, no, I think a Ghanaian,
Yeah.
and intends to come to Ghana, it depends on the business that she starts. I mean, she goes into. There are some businesses that we have exemptions for 10 years. For example, if you are into free zone, I don't know the nature of business. So for 10 years, the first 10 years you don't pay tax at all. After 10 years, when you actually export, you will pay tax at a rate of 15%. When you sell locally, you pay 25%. It's also in the law. Then if you decide to take up, let's say, waste recycle, businesses, the first 7 years you don't pay tax. Or you pay tax at a rate of 1%. That is what we call temporary concession. There are a whole lot.
Okay, so it is business specific.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the taxman himself does not disclose all of his income. Does he honestly disclose?
I have filed my tax returns, and
you don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr.
Citizen
Taxman, there's a
Check
question.
says,
I don't have a problem.
says, now, so what happens if I don't charge anything for an event and I only ask for honorarium? Am I supposed to pay my taxes on my honorarium?
You see, this is
does honorarium classify as earnings?
No, see, the question is not so straightforward like that. I can't say yes or no. You see, the point is this: if you are supposed to charge, and you decide not to charge, and you take honorarium, what the taxman will do is that what is the market value of the service that you have rendered? And if we are going to take a full amount, how much was it going to be? And then we are going to tax on that basis.
So I have to pay my tax whether I collect money or not?
No, why will you not collect money?
Maybe the person can't afford it. We understand the struggles of the industry. So sometimes we offer free
Before
services.
this position will make it very difficult for things to actually even happen in this space.
No, sometimes I mean I will MC an event for free for Sadiq because I know he's doing it for the first time and he can't really afford to pay me my worth.
No, why will you do it for free?
Because I know he can't afford it.
No,
and we are trying to together we're trying to together build our industry. So we offer free services to each other all the time. Are you going to consider this
respectfully?
as some kind of gift?
And I think, Mr. Sadiq, you raised it earlier.
Yes.
Respectfully, that issue of barter, where I render service for free, and they also render services to me for free, and all. When it comes to tax,
you cost the value of it.
You are looking at arm's length. Assuming you are doing it for a person who is not related to you, will you charge? If that's the case, the law says that use that one as a basis.
Use the value of the charge.
Exactly.
That will be difficult to
that is why we went to
enable projects in the industry with regards to this.
Because if I want,
we'll probably go years without anything happening in this.
No, why?
Because we can't afford it. That's the reality.
What you are saying?
Okay, you just finish explaining. I'll just give you an explanation.
Yeah, it is friendship that drives it.
It's not friendship. It's support for the industry. Sometimes I don't even know the person. Somebody will just call me and say, Nashoko, I'm starting a project for young girls in my community, and I can't afford to pay you. I don't know you, you don't know me, but I believe your presence over there will help drive the project. Please attend or come and give a word. Ordinarily, I'll charge you to be there.
You know what?
But I don't know you, and I want to support.
So, okay, so let me give you an example. Now,
you see, there's something
let me just give you an example so you get it very well, right?
Come again.
For a lot of, let's say, awards or what we call industry events, we usually do honorariums. We don't do like the actual payment or fees because it's understandable that it's an industry event. It's supposed to enhance the industry. There's a lot of things that we can, if I have time, I could go on and on about. Now, due to that, there's a certain understanding or consensus between a lot of the suppliers, particularly talents, that, okay, this is an industry event. This is there to enhance the industry. So they don't charge as they are supposed to. Now, if this is going to be enforced, where, for instance, Shatta Wale, who ordinarily will take honorarium and not his actual fees from, say, Sadiq from 3 Music Awards as a way of supporting the industry. If consistently he has to be, if Shatta Wale's value, performance value, say 80,000 or 100,000, and I've not paid him anything close to that, and you're going to charge him taxes for him to pay that, then it will become difficult for such events to happen, because then Shatta Wale will ensure that you have to pay him for him to be able to do that. And if you don't have the money and there's no funding for some of these things, eventually things will die off. And this week I'm hearing that the Base Awards, for instance, on the basis of funding is not happening. So you can imagine a number of other initiatives such as this, if without sponsorship or funding, will die off, which will really impact the space.
Yeah. So you see, you.
So that's why it's good that I mean you need to understand.
The industry. So I'm talking generally, but if your industry has certain specific attributes, then you need to actually communicate that with the Commissioner General. That is why I think that the interaction that you are going to have with the Commissioner General on these issues, I believe, will clarify some of these things. But be that as it may, there's one thing that is very important. If you want to enter into a transaction which has tax implications, and you are not too sure about what it will be, you have a recourse to write to the Commissioner General. I want to do X, Y, Z. What is the tax implication? Then he will give his ruling. Are you getting it? So you can.
So in respect to a particular project,
it's too cumbersome.
Everybody.
No, what is it?
In respect of a particular project, everybody that's going to go into it, let's say that may earn honorariums per se, who in this case writes to the commissioner, the one that will be doing the employing or contracting them, or these individual talents, all of them. So if they're about 80, all of them write to the Richard Journal.
Well, you can do that.
We
have what we call a class ruling, and then we have private ruling. If an individual taxpayer or potential taxpayer is doing that, that is a private ruling. But if those of you in that particular space, you can together apply that you want a class ruling on this issue, then it is clarified. You can always ask for clarification on certain issues which border on tax, and Commissioner General will gladly, clarify those things. Otherwise, we'll be navigating into areas that But again, I don't want to pretend that I understand your industry so well. you get it? Yeah. So if once you have issues, we can engage and begin to understand the way the industry operates. Then
so the people that you have trained to interact with the people in the industry, those people ought to have some of these understandings, so that in deciding what your best judgment should be on how much a person should pay, they have some of these things, consider some of these things.
But
some people actually render free service not because of friendship or because they are trying to promote someone, but because they themselves are trying to promote themselves. And they know that that Charlie, if I star in this Shirley performance film, it will be good for me. Shirley hasn't casted me, and I go to Shirley and say, Shirley, I beg, put me in this film, I'll do it for free.
Oh no, that one we don't have a problem. You see, that's what we call.
Am I supposed to pay tax on that?
Penetration strategies.
What?
Penetration.
And this is recognized by the
tax. The law looks at it.
Which part of the law is that?
So the thing is that you are trying to actually, be known. There are certain things that you will do for free.
Okay. To penetrate the industry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really interested in the tax break side, and I'm still learning some more.
Abu, the issue you just raised.
Yes.
Is very critical.
Very.
In the sense that for up and coming acts,
yes,
and people who need the help of folks in the industry who've made it, it becomes very difficult if the folks are going to help and yet still be
That's the penetrative strategy.
Be subjected to
paying taxes.
But on the other hand, it could also be used as a way of bypassing the payment of tax.
Yeah. So we need to understand.
So there needs to be a proper consensus on the matters, as he's saying, and individual cases have to be judged by their own.
Really interested in.
So
we have to be very.
Sent a message to ask, what are the other things you can do in this industry that can qualify for a tax rebate?
Yeah,
specific to creative arts.
Yeah, specific to the creative arts.
Yes. Let's first of all start with the fact that once you are a self-employed person, there are a lot of what we call reliefs, personal reliefs. You are married, there's a relief for it. Is that okay? You have children in education, you have a relief. If you are disabled, then you engage in.
But that's not peculiar to this industry.
It's general. It cuts across. Are you getting it? And you see, the point is this: you haven't registered with Ghana Revenue Authority. You are not even benefiting from this, but it is there for you to benefit. Are you getting it? So that is part of the education. And then we also know that if you make a loss, you can carry over the losses for either 3 years, 5 years, depending on the sector that you find yourself. That is also in the law.
So the
Mr.
tax,
Nab,
the
sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but we've got Martha Nkuma on the line, actress Martha Nkuma.
Hi, Nasoko, how are you?
Martha, I was about to say hello. You didn't allow me to say hello.
Nasoko, I'm listening to your program. Thank God for this very program you are doing today. Nasoko, you know you were at the meeting the other day when we had this whole meeting about this whatever going on. And right now I'm listening to your man in your studio, and he said that if you are below 35 years, you are exempted from tax when you are in the art or creative whatever culture. Nasoko, you and I know that most of us who are supposed to pay these taxes are below the age of 35. So what is going on? Let's be real. We will say we are not paying. Fine. But you know our industry. Nasoko, you and I act in this movie industry. Sometimes we don't even get paid. They give us 1,000 cedis. The producer is even begging you, okay, take 500 for transportation. Nasoko, you know if you don't do this job, you're going to sit at home and there's nothing happening in your life because you told yourself that you want to be an actress. And I thank God for you bringing this man into the studio right now. He said that when you are below 35 years, you are exempted from the taxes. So why would they write to us when most of us are below 35 years? If they said they've really done their checks well, we are below 35 years, Nasoko. So why would they write to us in the first place?
Young gadget entrepreneur.
And why would they even
entrepreneurs? Yes, young gadget entrepreneur.
But they've done their checks,
from what
they've
is
done their background work and all that. If they've done their background very well, if they've done their background work very well, Nasoko, they know that they give us 1,000 cedis, 2,000 for production. So they wouldn't even write those figures they gave to us. It is not real. Let's be real. Whatever they see on social media, like the other man was saying that you can't live a flamboyant lifestyle. Nasoko, people give you hair for free. People give you shoes for free. You are a presenter. People give you clothes for free. Just for you to mention their names on Instagram, for them to get jobs to do. So what are we talking about here? All of us want to help this country. Let's be so real. We do adverts. The companies take withholding tax out of it. You buy food, they take taxes out of it. But for our acting career, fine, we'll pay taxes, but not those huge amounts they're giving to some of us. And besides that, I heard him saying that if you are below 35 years, you are exempted. So where from all these figures they are getting from?
Mother, how much were you given?
257,000 Ghana cedis, Nasoko.
Have you earned that much?
Nasoko, I live in somebody's house. How do I pay this money? If I have that money, will I be living in somebody's house?
All right, I'll let the taxman answer you now.
And 35, if you are below 35, ask him very well. I want him to repeat that.
All right. Can you clarify that for us?
What I said was that there is
Okay, Nasoko, thank you so much. Okay, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Martha.
Yes. Last year, a law was enacted to encourage young graduates, entrepreneurs. And what the law says is that if you are a young graduate entrepreneur and you go into...
Sorry, Mr. Not to catch you. What law exactly, so that I can do a cross-check on it?
He's asking for the name of the law.
The law, and I mean...
No, it's an amendment to an act.
Okay, but what does it say?
What it says is that a young graduate entrepreneur who engages in some businesses, and the businesses are listed. We have manufacturing. Is that okay? We have horticulture. We have agro-processing. We have energy and power. We have ICT. Is that okay? Then we have tourism and creative art.
Tourism and creative
art, yes. So what the business that you run, for 5 years, you are exempt from tax. That was what I said.
What tax exactly? His personal income tax? Personal income tax.
If I understood her clearly, what she said was that she works for some other person as an employee. Are you getting it? If you're an employee, that is, you don't fall with.
If you're an actor and you act for somebody, you have said that you are not an employee of the person. That's what you said earlier.
No,
if you're an actor,
it's
your business, so it makes it personal income tax.
Yes, if it's you are on your own, is that okay? You pay personal income tax. But if you're an employee, I from what she said, because she said they pay her 500 Ghana. Is that not what she said?
Yeah. She gave an example.
Oh, that's an example.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So they pay her 500 Ghana. Is it monthly?
For the project. So it's project specific. You know, I mean, if I'm acting for you, you don't pay me a monthly salary. You pay me a one-time payment. Or
So it means she's on her own.
Yeah, so it's a business.
So she filed.
So she's a young graduate entrepreneur.
Are you getting it?
And when you say graduates, which graduates are you talking about?
The young graduate who has finished the
university.
Tertiary.
Or any tertiary institution.
So listen up. Let me just find out this. So let's say there's this young, below 35 years graduate. I'm glad that Antoine is listening. Who has a streaming service.
Yeah.
What we are saying is that for the streaming service and all the people that is employed who are below 35 years, right? He's exempted from paying his personal income tax, or for all the people that are below 35 working for his company.
No, those who are working for him, they are employees.
So the law he pays taxes for them.
Yes, he has to withhold taxes when paying them.
Yeah, but for himself, his personal income.
Yes, for himself.
That's the
entrepreneur.
Okay, but for you to benefit from this, you must have registered for tax. So if you haven't registered, then you can come after them.
But that is not significant enough to help build any campaign.
Sadiq, hold. Let him
in
finish.
2017. That is Act 956.
Everybody
so you can have it here.
Yeah. What's that? Sorry.
Act 956.
Act 956.
Okay.
2017.
Okay.
Amending. So it means previous years, where you are looking at from when it was put in place. That is.
So may I ask you, are you saying that for young graduate entrepreneurs who have been served with letters to pay, like in Martha's case, over 270 Ghana cedis, you have served her because she's not registered for GRA? She's not registered for tax?
What we have done as GRA is... we are looking at persons who have earned income, and we have done our own investigation.
Yes.
And we are inviting them. In some cases, we are serving them letters with some information that we have.
Okay.
Now she has to come and tell us all the things that she knows about herself. And I'm saying that it wasn't so, but we had to. This law that I'm talking about was amended. It was an amendment in 2017 to provide. So before this law came into being, that exemption was not there.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Okay.
So we are looking at the law. We have to just take our time and appreciate it.
Okay.
And she was also sounding so emotional. No, it is not. Taxation. We only.
It's a matter of money.
Yes.
So it's an emotional matter.
No, it's not. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Come and have interactions with us.
Okay. So just to clarify Martha's issues, you're saying that even though you have served her, the onus now lies on her to come to you to tell you that, please, I'm less than 35 years old. I have been working for this period, and so I'm supposed to be exempt from tax as a young graduate entrepreneur.
Yeah, you should come with the letter, and then let's have some conversation.
So the letter is not final.
Oh, no, we have said that over and over.
Exactly.
Now, if you have any reason, you can
contest it.
If for all this period, yes, you haven't earned any income tax.
For a tax,
any income, why will you pay income tax?
From a tax perspective, how do you define or describe entrepreneur? Do Martha, for example, who is self-employed, who is a graduate, does she fall in the category or basket of?
No, it has to do with the age. 35 years.
No, she's below 35 years.
Fine. So she's a young graduate, and we are saying before 2017. That was when this law took effect.
Last year.
Last year. And I think I've mentioned.
But is it this year that you are serving the letters?
No, I don't know. I the letter is not here for us to see.
Okay.
I don't have the letter, so I.
So per this law. Okay, does it take retrospective such that beyond 2017 there was earnings and the law was not in place at that time?
Before 2017, you couldn't have applied this law. So from 2017 upward.
So it doesn't take retrospective effect?
At all.
So if they were earnings in 2016
ought to pay your
that,
earnings up to 2016
before you can take advantage of that. No taxation. You know better than me.
No, I don't. And you are here. You're here to answer all the nagging questions on the minds of the listeners.
Just encourage her that she can get angry.
So you are saying that for those who you have served currently, who are less than 35 years, you still expect them to pay in arrears beyond 2017 because at that time the law had not been passed.
You know what? We have to actually be very careful. It could be a company. Okay. Here we are talking about young graduate entrepreneur who starts a
That's why I asked that. So how do you define that?
That's what I'm saying. You see, she only just called in, and unfortunately she was so angry.
She wasn't angry.
So let me give you two categories. So I have a friend. He's an actor. He's below the ages of 35. He doesn't have a company.
Is she a young graduate?
Yeah, he's a graduate.
Is she an entrepreneur?
That's why I asked that. How do do you define
somebody
entrepreneur
with a
in this
business?
case?
Oh yeah, well, yes.
Okay, so
what's the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman?
Is the person running his or her own business?
All right, Martha is back on the line. Let's just Sadiq. Let's talk to Martha. I think you asked some questions.
Nashoko.
Yes, Martha.
So I was listening to him right now. I am below 35 years old. I'm a graduate. I'm an university graduate, and I don't. The business I have is Martha's Place. And you and I know I opened the shop not more than like 3 years ago. And so I fall into the category he's talking about. I was listening to him. I'm not angry, but listen, Nashoko, let's be real. These are money matters. Are you getting
Yes, we're here.
I can't just be there and you bring me 257,000 when I'm living in somebody's house. And you expect me to pay this money. Where am I going to get the money from? And that is the truth, Nashoko. Don't tell him it's an example. Nashoko, you and I work. How much does Shelley pay you? They don't pay us that much. Sweetheart, let's be so real with these people. You know, the last time we had a meeting, they came and they said they have placed that into the high net worth category. And we told them that, Charlie, we are not the high net worth people you people think we are. So if you can drop that level for us, it's just social media. Social media is making people do things. Now, so you and I know that these days people take pictures in front of people's houses and they post it.
I don't do some.
You are seeing certain things on social media and you think you can judge us with social media. It is totally wrong.
It's the flamboyant lifestyles that you people portray on social media that makes it look like you are in the high net worth category.
I get you. But my question for him is, let him know. Most of us, we have been served with a letter. We are not 35 years. And we are university graduates. And we are in the creative arts. And so what? And if he's saying that the law took its course, let's say, from the year, that was in 2017. The letters were given to us this year. And I don't have a company. This is me. They've sent me a letter, not a company. The company I have is Martha's Place. And so I asked the lady, when the lady brought the letter, I asked you, young girl, what is the meaning of this figure? She said, but Martha, you are an actress. When you go for interviews, they pay you, they give you awards. And I said, call the radio presenters and ask them. Nobody pays you when you go for an interview. Now, Shoko, are you going to pay the people who you have in front of your who you have in front of your studio right now? You're not going to pay them. You're not going to pay your panelists. Let's be so real. How are you going to pay those people? Joy FM is not going to pay them for showing up. Is Joy FM going to pay this GRA man because he came to grant this interview with you? It's not possible. And I told the young lady that, let's be real. Nobody pays you when you take an award in this country. Nobody pays you for an interview. Nobody pays you for anything. And so listen, you can't just write these figures and expect me to pay when I'm living in somebody's house. And Nashoko, you know this industry very well. Ask them all the necessary questions. Sometimes you'll be there for the whole year. You haven't shot anything. This year, the only movie I have done is with Ajete, titled Beautiful Mind. That is what I have done. So ask me, how am I surviving? If it wasn't for the salon that I'm running, by the grace of God, and even that you are paying bills, you are taking everything out of it. You are paying hospital bills, taking care of your family out of it. So let's be so real. You can't write such huge figures because you see us on TV and you think we are rich. And you know, there's this funny perception about people who are on TV. Now, so do you know people think you are rich because you are on TV?
I understand.
That's what people think about us. But you know what goes on? Okay, fine, look at our people who are older than us. You know what they go through. Recently, you saw some stories. Some stories were out and you saw what happened to them. And so people think if you are on TV, you are rich. And so, okay, fine. These people are rich. They are on TV. Let's give them figures to pay. Let's be so real. Mr. Taxman, I really appreciate you coming. But the kind of figures you guys have given us are ridiculous figures. We can't think too far about the figures. I mean, when we think about the figures, we are like, this is for real. We haven't even seen this money before. And you are asking us for it at the age of 35. At the age, below age 35. It is serious.
I want you to know that the fact that you live in somebody's house does not mean that you don't pay tax. You keep talking about the fact that I live in somebody's house as well.
So now, Shoko, please ask him for us, okay? Most of us are below 35. We are with the creative arts, and what they are thinking is not what they are thinking. So ask him all the necessary questions. Let him know that when you go on set, the producers don't even pay you that much. Yama why 2,000 Ghana cedis, and even that they pay in this.
All right, Martha, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We've got DJ Mensah also on the line. He wants to contribute. Hello.
Hi, Nashiko.
Hi, DJ Mensah. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I would like to contribute to the show.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I double up as a DJ and a promoter. I've had my share with GRA. I've been paying my taxes for over 5 years. Well, when it started, I had issues with it just because of some of well, I didn't really understand it from the start. So, well, let's say if I go to any of the clubs, let's say ABC Club, ABC, all right, I just feel as a promoter, it's the club that's supposed to have maybe tax tickets and all that at the entrance before I come in. I promote, I do what I have to do to get the people there, right? But then they were not going after the clubs, they were coming after me, and that was my issue. So I confronted them, and they were like, oh, we can't find the club owners, this is why we come after you. And again, they were following me on social media and WhatsApp status, and this is how they know my next event, all right? And then also, if let's say I double up as an event promoter for Aquaba UK. They are only here in December, which we pay our taxes as well. But then again, we don't do most of the people are by invitation, which they explain that we have to. Even if you give a free invite to someone to come to the party, you still have to pay, which is understandable. But then the drinks that have been brought, I think they were taxes were being charged on maybe when it got to Harbour. Again, taxes are being charged when the drinks are sold in a club. And then the tables that we sell at the club are being charged at their drinks. They are going into drinks anyways. And they still want to charge differently from that. If you can explain that side to me a bit, I'll really appreciate that.
Can you take that bit again?
Well, we sell tables, all right? And the money for the tables goes into drinks, all right? The drinks, when you pay at the club, it's already being charged. But GRA wants us to still pay some amount of money on the table. Let's say if I buy a table, if I want to spend maybe 2,000 Ghana cedis at the club, they want a charge on that and then also a charge at the entrance.
All right. He's going to answer your questions now. Thank you, DJ Mensah.
You see, taxation is, as I said earlier, is a creature of a statute. It's governed by law. If you make income, you are required to pay tax. Yes. So from what he's saying, he's looking at the tax handles. He's looking at the VAT component. He's looking at income tax. The fact that you have paid VAT does not mean that the income tax aspect you will not pay.
Okay.
I get it.
But what he's saying is that the table is he sells tables. And the table comes with drink. Okay, it doesn't mean he's actually selling the physical table. But if you come in and you want to be able to get a table to sit at, you have to buy some drinks.
Okay.
And he pays you, the taxman, tax on the table, on each table, because basically that's your gate fee.
Oh, okay.
So if you come in, it means you are paying for a table. So you're paying for the drinks on the table. Now he pays for that because it's your gate fee. Again, he pays VAT on the drinks he buys. Okay. Again, when he imports the drinks and they come in, he pays is it VAT again? Yeah. On those same drinks. So it appears you've taxed him 3 times for the same drinks.
No, I don't think so. If you import the drinks into the country, is that not?
Yeah.
So at the point of importation, you have to pay custom duties and the VAT as well. So you pay that one. And when he's selling, one thing he has to actually take note of is that he's not the one paying the VAT. if I go I enter into an entertainment, platform, and then I pay, you are only acting as a conduit to collect the money for GRA.
Yes.
So the fact that he's accounting for the money does not mean that he is
the one paying for it.
He's a consumer of the service or the goods who actually pay the tax.
Does pay for it.
You see, that's what we are saying. You should come and then we have some conversation, and some of these things will
you see, everybody can come and have the conversation.
No, you can. So, why not?
So let's have this conversation.
No, okay. But you see, the point
How about you've answered DJ Mensah's. Martha also was asking.
Actually, I don't. She keeps saying that because she stays in somebody's house, I stay in somebody's house as well. But I pay tax.
No, but I think
she's saying the amount of money that you are asking her to pay.
Unless you are exempt by law, you don't say that because the money is small. You don't pay tax.
Yes, but you're charging her 276,000, and she's only done one movie.
Intelligence.
She's only done one movie the whole year.
That is what she is saying. So she should come to the office, and then they will sit down with her, and then have some conversation. For all you know, it is an aggregate of a source of income put together. Are you getting her to give her that kind of assessment? Okay. So that she doesn't need to just get angry. She should come.
She's not angry.
No, we don't want her to be because.
Okay, so let me just enumerate her questions for you.
Okay.
1, she is under 35 years old and she's a graduate entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So per the law that was passed in 2017, she's exempt from paying personal income tax. And yet she received a letter asking her to pay personal income tax.
You know what? This is something she is saying. Where is the proof?
That she's 35 years old.
No. Yes. Even are you sure she is?
Yes.
So she needs to come. You see, some of these things, are she registered? You understand? For all you know, she hasn't even done any of this. The fact that you are 35 and you are working, you haven't registered anywhere. You don't have a business. You get it. We need to actually understand some of these things. All that I'm saying is that yes, this is her education, general education. It may not be specific to her niece. I get it. We are available.
Okay. So what you're asking Martha to do is
she should come and
have an interaction.
Exactly.
Not just emotional.
She shouldn't be. I mean, I think that. I like.
Also, she wanted to make a point that if you look, Uncle Ken, I don't like what you are doing. She made a point that if you follow the flamboyant lifestyles, the perceived flamboyant lifestyles you see on social media, you could get the calculations wrong. You might be judging wrongly because it is true that a lot of the things you see on social media are free and are not. They are
not fake.
Sorry?
Is it that they are fake or what?
No, they're free. So, for example...
What do you mean free?
So, for example, a young graduate entrepreneur who wants her hairline to be known. So, for example, oh my hair. Want people to know that she has oh my hair. And the name of the hair is oh my hair.
Hey.
So, for example, use oh my hair as an example. Exactly. So, oh my hair comes and says, Nah, Shoko, you have 965,000 followers on Instagram. I'd like these people to know about my oh my hair. So, I'd like to give you some so you wear, so people can see it. Now, it's free to me. I'm using it to help promote her business. And it runs from hair, earrings, clothes, shoes, bags, etc. So the whole flamboyant get-up you see me in on social media does not mean that I am earning so much to be able to buy all these things to wear and put out there. That's what she's trying to say. Because you did mention that sometimes flamboyant lifestyles and your expenditure might be some of the considerations you have to do your costing. So sometimes expenditure as might appear in public or on social media might not actually be so.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now, so permit me to ask this question.
Okay.
Permit me to do this one.
Yes.
This is a very interesting angle that you've just raised. So do they rely on such things to build people for personal income tax?
Yeah, he said that.
No, I'm saying, so you look at a picture on social media.
No, not picture per se.
He said expenditure. And then I asked him, how can you determine my expenditure? And he said, your lifestyle.
Yeah. So
you can see.
And you use this as an example of someone's lifestyle.
Yeah. So for example, someone starts.
Do you use that?
Mr.
Because that would be ridiculous.
Okay, that was just an example. Someone starts a travel and tour agency and takes me to Dubai. I go to Dubai every month. Do you understand? It appears to be my lifestyle that I'm traveling and I take all the photos in Dubai Mall and I'm here and I'm here. I'm there. But it's just promotional.
So you are invited because of your lifestyle. Okay.
Because the estimation they make could be based on your expenditure.
So then all you need
based on your lifestyle.
Yes, all you need to do is to go and prove otherwise.
I told you that Commissioner General,
but you know, I don't know. Do you know what my problem is?
Was done already and sent to them.
I struggle to.
You're not invited to come and have a conversation.
I struggle to accept how you can accept my explanation or my conversation as fact. Because if I come to you and I tell you that I went for free, how do you verify these things? Because I could just come and tell you that
a contract
was free.
You show a contract something free from somebody. Now, are you getting it? Is that person not around? We can find out. But remember that when it comes to taxation, even gifts that we receive are taxable.
Yes.
Even gifts that we receive.
So you
quantify. But there's no adequate consideration.
I know about gift tax, but it really depends on who the gift is for. Because if I'm helping somebody promote their travel and tour agency, is it a gift to me or a gift to them? And who's going to pay the gift tax?
That person is giving you.
Why is that a gift to me? Because I can afford a trip to Dubai, but you want me to travel so I can promote your travel and tour agency. So who's the gift to?
Oh no, to you.
How is it to me?
What is the consideration for the gift?
But I'm also giving him a prescribed value, which is a gift to him.
But I think maybe we may have to just find listen, so we come and just talk about gifts in their entirety.
Because I struggle to see, because I can afford it. Otherwise, if I can afford it and I don't need it, and I'm just sitting in my home, and you say, oh, Nashoko, I beg you, I want people to see that my travel and tour agency is real and I actually take people to Dubai. So I beg you, just go with us this time. I don't want to go. I'm really tired. Oh, please, just go so you can promote Travel Wings or whichever travel agency. And I say, okay. And because I am going, other people will say, oh, if Nashoko is going, it's legit. So they'll also sign on for this December Dubai trip. So they come along. But it's not a gift to me.
No, you know what?
Charging me gift tax.
I spoke about private rulings and class rulings. Yes. That if you want to enter into some transaction that have some tax implications and you are not too sure, ask the Commissioner General to give his ruling. You get it. So
I need to know this in terms of processes, in terms of seeking out these kind of rulings. Is there any timeline to it? How easy and simple
if you are about
to
enter, if you are about to enter into the transaction, or you have entered into the transaction, you can ask for him to clarify.
All right, before we go further, let's go for these commercials. We'll be right back.
The Board of Directors, Headmaster, Staff and National Executive Committee of Tema Secondary School cordially invite all parents, old and current students to the 57th Speech and Prize Giving Day of our dear school. We will kickstart the celebration with a candlelight procession within the school on Friday the 16th of November 2018 at 7 p.m, ending with the lighting of a bonfire. On Saturday the 17th of November 2018 at 8:30 a.m, there will be the unveiling of 3 projects donated to the school by the 1978 year group. This will be followed immediately by the main Speech and Prize Giving Day event, which has been themed the Double Track System, making secondary education coverage more relevant. Guest speaker for this event is Mr. Michael Nsoa, Chairman of the Ghana Education Service Council. On the 18th of November 2018, we will climax the celebration with a Thanksgiving church service at 9 a.m. Guest preacher is Anchorite Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare Kwache of the Department for the Study of Religions, University of Ghana, Legon, and the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. Fellow Anchorite, you can't miss out on any of these events. So come one, come all. Nil Nisi Optima. Nothing but the best.
Come, all ye people. The clouds are gathering over the Empowerment Worship Center, where the set man of the house, Prophet Gideon Danso, with mighty men across the globe, will stir, charge, and set the atmosphere right for heaven to kiss the earth. Heaven on Earth 2018 with Gideon Danso, Adam Derso, Bradley Knight, Kian Hedison, Bioden Fatayimbo, Marty Thompson, and a special youth edition with Manny Arango. What's more, we finish hard with Phil Thompson and EWC live in worship. 13th to the 18th of November 2018 at the Empowerment Worship Center Auditorium, Achimota, near the new bus terminal, right behind the Stanbic Bank. Morning session, 9 a.m. Evening session, 6 p.m. Far, listen, don't be on time, beat the time. Heaven on Earth 2018, Empowerment Worship Center, where God lives. Worship.
Africa is gold for the biggest music event in Africa. 5th All Africa Music Awards, Afrima, in association with the African Union Commission and brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture on Saturday, November 24th, 2018 at the Accra International Conference Center, Ghana.
Red carpet starts at 4:30 p.m. Afrima Awards broadcast live to 84 countries and starts at 7:30 p.m.
The 5th Afrima Awards will be hosted by Ghanaian-born American actor and comedian Michael Blackson, South African TV personality Pearl Thusi, and Ghanaian TV host Anita Erskine. This is strictly by invitation.
Africa is gold.
Thank you for Afrima for having us here.
Afrima, for hope, for celebration.
Many of us stand the chance of becoming victims of globalization, not the shakers and the movers.
That a great man was asked, how do you bring up children? And he said, the first is by example, the second by example, and the third by example.
What are the top 10 things?
Albert, I should confess to you, it's a very difficult subject you're handling.
If you ever found Kelly anywhere sitting as two, the three legs of those two are faith, truthfulness, and enjoyment. Please don't pull any of these legs out. If you do, you will fall.
10 years of reviewing the past, situating the present, and predicting the future. Springboard, your virtual university, matriculates at 7 p.m. and graduates at 8 p.m. every Sunday on Joy 99.7 FM.
Springboard is a very significant intervention in our national life. The radio program, the virtual university, and the roadshow have become important factors in the development of our human capital.
Springboard is brought to you by Legacy and Legacy and Joy FM, and proudly sponsored by EcoBank, MTN, and Central University, with support from the graphic business.
Hi, this is Sharon Lecter, co-author of Rich Dad Poor Dad and the Rich Dad series. Remember to keep listening to Springboard, your virtual university with Albert Okran. It's going to help you create financial freedom for yourself and your families.
Springboard, your personal value will shoot up.
Here's how we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Soul Town. Turn up.
You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ.
The battle is on again. The heat is on again. The best DJ's about to do the thing again. Bragging rights, yes you can have it right. If you put your hand to the deck and spin till we have firelight. Firelight, yes on the line. Hits hottest DJ is next on the line.
You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. 103.9. The hottest DJ. You've got what it takes to be the hottest DJ. It's a fam. The hottest DJ.
This will be the showstopper, the biggest music celebration in Ghana yet. It's the Farmers' Day edition of the MTN Music Festival. Come treat yourself to live, authentic Ghanaian music featuring Nana Tufo, Kwame Eugene,
Anywhere you there, I go there.
Adina,
Oh, my baby.
King Women, and Amapina of the Marriott International Band Fade. Celebrate Farmers' Day at the MTN Music Festival, happening live at the Accra International Conference Center on Friday, the 7th of December at 7 p.m. sharp. Dial star 800 star 98 hash to buy your tickets by your mobile money at 100 cities VIP and 50 cities regular. Send music to 5025 to download and listen to songs from your favorite artists on MTN Music Plus. The MTN Music Festival, powered by Slip Entertainment. This is a must-attend live music night you don't want to miss.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
What is all this? One Ghana pay. What is it?
Charlie, do you know that with 1 Ghana cedi pay, you can refresh yourself with a chilled bottle of Pepsi, Mirinda, and 7-Up? Pay 1 Ghana cedi pay, not more.
1 Ghana, 1 Ghana, 1 Ghana,
Pepsi.
Graphic Business, in partnership with Stanbic Bank, presents the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank Breakfast Meeting under the theme Financing Free Quality Education in Ghana, Sustainable Funding Options. On the panel are Professor Ernest Ayite, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana and an economist, Israel Titi Ofer, Principal, SOS Herman Minor International College, Tema, and Professor Opoku Amankwa, Director General of the Ghana Education Service. Date is the 12th of November 2018 and time is 7 a.m. The venue is Labadi Beach Hotel. This event is sponsored by Stanbic Bank with support from Joy Business and Labadi Beach Hotel. To participate, log on to graphic.com or call Joyce on 0244 266006. Graphic Business, setting the business agenda.
Joy 99.7.
Showbiz A to Z, floating stone and the listen, keep rocking.
Hi, welcome Eugene, and you are listening to Na Ashoko on Showbiz A to Z.
It's Showbiz A to Z.
Time check is exactly 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me read these LPMs and then I'll try to read some of your messages coming in. So many of them. Graphic Business in partnership with Stanbic Bank presents. Uncle Ken, you're making me laugh in the middle of a very important LPM. Graphic Business in partnership with Stanbic Bank presents the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank Breakfast Meeting. The theme is Financing Free Quality Education in Ghana, Sustainable Funding Options. And on the panel, we have Professor Ernest Ayite, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana and economist, Israel Titi Ofer, the Principal, SOS Herman International College in Tema, Mr. Opoku Amankwa, the Director General of GES. The date is the 12th of November. That's on Monday. The time is 7 a.m. at Labadi Beach Hotel. This event is sponsored by Stanbic Bank with support from Joy FM, Joy Business, and Labadi Beach Hotel. To participate, you can log on to www.graphic.com or call Joyce on 0244 266 006. Graphic Business, setting the business agenda. Adansi Travel, Taste of Asia with Israelite. Mr. Naba, are you listening to this one? Listen to this one very well.
Agenda.
Oh, no agenda. No. I have no preconceived plans or anything of the sort. I just want you to listen to this LPM. It's an 11-day, 10-night tour of Singapore, Bali, Malaysia, in a way you can only dream of with multimedia. Multimedia's award-winning broadcaster Israel Lai is dubbed Taste of Asia. The tour starts with a visit to the lion city of Singapore. Then we shall continue to Bali, Indonesia, and the dream holiday destination. The climax of the tour will be at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where you will feel the beauty and glamour of the city. It's the 7th edition of Adansi Travel's Discover the World Tour series with multimedia. From December 19th to 30th. It's selling for a cool 2,850 Ghana cedis single and then 5,600 Ghana cedis couple, including hotel, breakfast, visa tours, and flights on Ethiopian Airlines, the Spirit of Africa. Kindly pick your form at Joy FM or visit Adansi Travels at Okpongolo, East Legon, opposite the EcoBank. Call us on 055-631-040 or 020-825-4871. On Facebook, you can find us at Adansi Travels. Don't be left out. Book your seat now. After all, you earned it. You want to say something?
No.
Okay.
Anything, pay taxes.
All right.
Exactly.
RTHE Consult is organizing a value proposition design workshop tagged Winning Customer Advantage in a Changing Market. Your value proposition lets everyone know about the benefits customers get through your business. For many people, however, the value proposition has become stale, or they do not have one at all, while the business starts to fail. This value proposition design workshop is about two things: developing value proposition to win customers and planning big goals for 2019 with a better value proposition. You can join this workshop on November 13th. Give us a call on 027 31 88 533 to register. Now we invite you to be a part of the Habitat Fair in Kumasi. The Joy News Western World Habitat Fair will bring together finance houses, construction firms, real estate developers, and more. It's happening on Friday, 7th December to Sunday, 9th December at the Kumasi City Mall from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The Joy News Habitat Fair 2018, affordable housing for all. And of course, the Hottest DJ launch is happening. The official launch for season 4 of the Hottest DJ is happening at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 9th of November. Hits FM Hottest DJ competition, unearthing unique talent. All right, let me read some of your messages coming in. Maverick, inside a Shyman, please ask the taxman if they presented Shatawale the amount of money. If they presented Shatawale with the amount of money he'll be paying, if Mata is to pay this huge amount, how much more the richest self-acclaimed musician in Ghana? I beg, don't take it easy with him. Now, please tell celebs to stop joking. I was shocked they weren't even paying taxes all these years. I owe IRS here in America $600, and they chased me even in my dreams for their money. All right. Hello, now please tell the taxman to allow Martha Nkuma to purchase her own house before even asking her to pay that humongous tax being slapped on her. How? Wow. All right. Okay. Now, if the GRA man is leaving, he will be given a gift. Make sure you take your gift tax before he leaves. I'll take one final word from you, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Thank you very much. I think essentially GRA is not on a mission to disturb the entertainment industry. We are friends, we are partners in development, and you should see tax payment as your civic responsibility.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you have come to clarify all the problems. I must put on the record that I am pro-tax payment. Pay your taxes. You have to go to the GRA and have a dialogue with them so that you can understand how much you ought to pay. Don't let the figures in your letters frighten you. Come and have a dialogue with the GRA. Peace out. Uncle Ken, you don't have a final word. My name is Na Ashoko. This has been Showbiz A to Z. Up next
Very grateful.
Is the news.